So, why don't we go ahead and start with a recap of the previous session? Why don't I go through each of you individually and ask what you guys feel are the highlights for your characters personally, and then we can go over sort of like a more broad strokes what happened during the session. So, Caius,
Yes.
what are the most noteworthy things that happened to you during the last session?
Oh man, let me tell you, bro. So
Someone
Caius-
just walked up to Caius and was like, "How was your day, man?" And Caius was like, "Dude."
it's been a long one. So Caius, going into this, Caius thought this was going to be a rather simple quest. It's actually turning out to be one of the most annoying quests for Caius, as this old man Gil has been pestering him. Even when he tried to go away and actually be of help, he was still following him and pestering the hell out of him. And so in his anger, he went to go like knock down some trees for some lumber.
Yep.
And the tree almost won that fight. The tree almost won that fight for real.
That's a very elegant way to put it, I gotta admit. You came back with the lumber, though. You do have half of the required lumber to repair the boat.
So, I didn't even get all the lumber. I gotta go get more.
You have to get more, yeah. That's the thing. That's what the other check was for. The natural one check, that's what that was for, is to get more lumber.
You know what? We're round 2. Let's go.
Round 2. So, I mean, today's the day. Fen, what happened with Moggs during the last session?
Last session, so Moggs was having a weird time.
Moggs was sad.
Yeah, she had herself a little sad. There was a bit of a miscommunication, bit of a misunderstanding, and she was in stink brain mode for the day.
Very well roleplayed, I will also put out there. In the case that any of the players were wondering, I'm sure that there's a point in time in every player's journey where another player roleplays so well that it's hard to tell if it's the player having a problem or the character having a problem. And I feel like it's important for us to take a step back and acknowledge that, yeah, that was fully Moggs. I guess I don't want to take the words out of Fen's mouth. That was Moggs, right? Moggs was the one that was having that sort of kerfuffle and problem, right?
Yep.
Cool. I figured I'd put that out there for Jinxie's sake, so that way Jinxie didn't think she was making Fen feel bad. Anything else happen with Moggs during that time? You guys got a magic book collectively. I know it's in the possession of your boss, but it's still something that the party is in possession of.
Yeah, no, she was mostly just being mopey.
Yeah.
They did, there was a reconciliation at the end of the night, where they came to an understanding with Lumia and are on better terms now. But as far as like the day goes, she just kind of sculpted about.
Cool. All right, so a new day for potentially new experiences for Moggs. Haru, what happened with Harvey during the last session? And you don't have to volunteer any of the secret information that you received, but...
Made a new friend.
Yeah.
Having a lot of fun with Gil.
Gil's, he's a funny guy.
Yeah. Having a lot of fun teasing Caius.
You really do have, like, the perfect person to like, tease, to poke fun at, because of the fact that Caius is genuinely such a like righteous person overall. Like Caius is and correct me if this interpretation is incorrect, Bear, but the way that I see Caius is very much so like a not necessarily might makes right, but maybe like an adjacent philosophy where it's like, it might not make me right, but it definitely makes me better, generally speaking. And so to have this poking and prodding from what is functionally a twig of an old man is a little infuriating, especially when he manages to beam you in the back of the head with a snowball.
Oh, absolutely. So, like, the way I would like to see it is like Caius, like regular IQ, not quite up there. Battle IQ, he's there.
Yeah, Caius is a pretty with it guy. So Harvey has been making good headway with Gil in terms of like an amicable friendship and stuff like that. Is there anything in particular that you would like to mention about what Harvey got up to during the last session?
He did speak to me in Thieves' Cant.
You did. Now, this is information that Haru is making the players aware of, but I'm certain that the characters would not be privy to what thieves' can't sounds like. So,
I want you to know, Kai's even barely knows about the book that was.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Caius is in a completely different storyline right now.
Correct.
Cool beans. Anything else you want to add, or?
I'm trying to remember. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. That's fine. I feel like the things, the like highlights that I remember.
I'm looking at our DMs right now.
Yeah, there's those, but also you managed to chide Caius into going to get.
Oh yes, we do have a bet going on, and I remember like being very willing. I'm not even like taking part. I'm just paying the penalty.
Yes, you're just paying the penalty.
It's like what, like the cost of 3 nights in the inn or something like that.
I think so. I'm actually going to pull up the bounty board so that way I can tell you exactly the amount that you're sacrificing.
Okay.
He's
I remember
sacrificing.
I got you to agree really low.
So it's 60 gold. It's 60 gold total for the whole party. Split 4 ways, it'd be 15 gold apiece. So you're sacrificing 7.5 of that gold.
That's right. Fuck yeah, I got knowledge. Oh,
So
that's
Moggs and Lumia are getting 15 gold apiece, and then Harvey is getting 7.5 gold, and then Bear is getting 22.5 gold.
Correct.
With that in mind, Jinxie, I don't know what happened to Lumia.
Everything.
Everybody lean in a little closer now.
Lumia had actually like a really big session in terms of insights and interactions and things that I feel for her would be really uncomfortable and scary in some ways. Like even with us kind of bringing Boheim to justice, she's gotten another breadcrumb concerning Tally and his interference in some of the lives of the people of Hinst, which is a pretty big revelation considering she went from not knowing who he even was to knowing a lot more. So that happened. And then of course, like, how could we forget she summoned the actual devil man, the proprietor, via a book completely on accident, which I think is probably a really anxiety-inducing event given the fact that she's a cleric. And I think obviously has no intention of doing any harm. And then of course, like the conflict with her acquaintance Moggs, which I think is, you know, something that would certainly have had some sort of impact on her, whether it's feelings of discomfort or like sadness over potentially hurting another individual. So yeah, it was a big session for Lumia.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah, though that's a phenomenal sort of summary of the events of the last session. On more of an overarching theme, the party headed out from Henst after bringing What's-His-Face to justice. Managed to effectively pawn off his shop to his underling, who is now realistically the person who's running the general store in Henst at this stage. Fimple, I believe his name was. And from there, you gave the captain of the guard is sort of a notice that you're going to go and complete the only other quest on the bounty board before heading out to coming back to presumably set out with the caravan and take care of the Skivarti nest, but I will leave that actual decision for you guys to make later on. Naturally, the act of bringing a caravan with you will mean that there are more people that are with you, which I will also, I am going to state this. I know I said before in DMs that if you were to go take care of the Skivarti nest with the caravan in tow, that it technically puts the caravan at risk. And that is true. However, there are about 5 other people who have joined up with the road wardens since the notice about the attack at Swarvel came through. So there will not be just 4 of you, there will be 9 of you.
Oh my god.
They will not participate in an actual like tabletop sort of like combat sense. They will effectively be off-screen fighting enemies that you otherwise would have had to fight. So it's basically like a sort of distribution of responsibility, but you are technically putting civilian lives at risk as a consequence of that. So I'll let you guys make that decision once you return to Henst and have sort of a moment to ruminate on it. But for the time being, we concluded the previous session at the very end of the day when you guys were bedding down for the night. I would like for everybody, before we do anything else, and I describe the setting of the rising sun and the snow melting, anything of that nature, I would like every single one of you to make a charisma saving throw.
Ooh. Okay. About to say, don't everybody go at once?
I forgot how to do stuff.
So to ensure that everybody is cognizant of what the typical consequences of charisma saving throws are, they are made against anything that you resist by sheer force of will rather than being aware of its presence. Generally speaking, charisma saving throws are things that you subconsciously make, not cognitively make. So, Harvey, what is your total charisma saving throw?
18.
18, beautiful. Caius, what is yours?
It's a flat, whatever I rolled. What was that? 9, flat 9.
9, all right.
You said saving throw?
Yes.
Yeah, flat 9, flat 9.
Cool. Moggs, what'd you get?
I got a 4.
Oh, God. Lumia, what'd you get?
A 10.
Okay. Awesome. So, with that having been done, Moggs, where did you sleep for the night?
I believe at the end of the session,
You had bedded down like with Lumia, right? You would actually like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where we ended. Yeah. So you hear the sound of birds chirping outside. The sun is streaming through the curtains that were drawn before you guys were actually let down to bed. You see the snoring of Gil. You hear the snoring of Gil in the other side of the room. He is fully there's somehow, some way he has managed to turn 180 degrees, and his head is where his feet were when he went to bed.
Oh my God, I get
but
it.
You hear the chirping of the birds. It's a little warmer in the room now. Over the course of the night, it was incredibly cold because there's no insulation here, but. Now that the sun's starting to stream through and the birds are chirping outside, you sort of instinctually come to consciousness. Very sort of groggy-eyed, maybe not the most comfortable sleep in the world. This is not a very comfortable bed.
Do the one eye blinks then the other.
Mm-hmm, pretty much.
Oh God,
Like a frog.
Yeah. But you are very clearly, as of right now, you seem to be the first to wake.
Okay. Well, nothing else is going on, so I'm just gonna. So I'm not tired at all anymore. I guess then.
Yeah, you, any exhaustion or anything like that, you've got gone. Any of your spells, you've got them back. Any of your hit points, you've got them back. This is also true for everybody else. I'm like drip feeding this to you, but all of you have taken a long rest. So any spells or hit points that you have lost, you have them back. Caius.
Hi.
That's you. Your hit points are back. It's the most important part.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes,
because I think you were the only person who took damage. And you almost died.
Brother, I was at 2 HP.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
I actually do want to put out there, just so that way everyone's aware, if anyone takes damage that in excess would equal or be greater than your maximum hit points, you instantly die. Yes. So if you have 30 hit points and you take 60 damage, because that's 30 to reduce you to 0, and then an additional 30, which equals in excess your max hit points, you just flat out die. So keep that in mind.
So if I was to take 42 points of damage, I would have been gone.
Yeah, you got 21 health?
Yes.
Yep. And I believe Harvey dies at 26 damage.
Yes.
Watch
So
your step, man.
It also has to come from a single source of damage. So it can't be someone does it to you in one turn. It has to be like someone shot you with a gun and did 1,000 damage to you. Like that in one
Right.
shot.
You fell 1,000 feet.
Yeah, falling is going to be the way that most people die instantly. But as you sort of come to consciousness, we're going to cut to the exterior of the building where, Caius, you, it's not as though you haven't slept. It's a lot more just that You're in a chicken coop that is not designed for someone as massive physically as you are. You have unconsciously grabbed one of the chickens and are currently holding them in your arms because it is just the only source of warmth in the area here. They seem to be, they don't seem to care. They are just kind of like ruffled feathers just snuggling up to you. They just kind of like are there. But you momentarily, you can hear the chirping of the birds and you kind of start to get bleary-eyed and open your eyes. And then directly to your right, a rooster caws its morning caw and you are instantly awake. It is a couple inches from you that it just starts to squawk. It's sort of like, oh, it's morning time, and it just decides to wear its fucking horn.
Before it finishes, I am grabbing its face.
So it like
I'm just immediately palming it.
Yeah, your whole hand dwarfs the whole. Realistically, your hand is half the size of the whole rooster. So your hand goes towards its face. It instinctually moves its like neck backwards, sort of cranes it back, but you still manage to just like palm over it. You could realistically pick it up like a basketball right now if you wanted to.
No, I'm not doing all of that.
But it stops. It looks at you, kind of confused. It sort of like tilts its head to one side.
I gently release it and just pat it on its head. But
just continues. And at that, everybody else comes to consciousness as well. I don't remember where we said Harvey was sleeping. I just assume you were also inside.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere inside. But yeah, everybody comes to consciousness. You actually see the rooster caws and Moggs. You had seen that Gil was unconscious in bed. You got up, maybe stretched, closed your eyes for a moment as you were stretching, and the moment that the rooster has cawed, you hear the ruffling of the bed sheets where Gil was sleeping, and Gil is fully conscious and is currently what looks like has like a wood fire starting to burn in the furnace of his home, almost immediately.
Moggs is like, oh, guess I was more tired than I thought. Jesus.
Yeah, Lumia, Harvey, Moggs, and Caius, you guys are all conscious and ready to begin the day. Lumia, you're probably the last to wake, I'll be honest. The events of the previous day may not have been physically taxing for you, but you had a troubled evening, I would say. Coming to consciousness, you sort of question whether or not the events of the previous day were a dream. And looking at the rucksack of belongings that you have, the fact that Gil has given you the Book of Minor Deities, you see it resting there on top of your backpack. And it sort of confirms for you that it was not a dream.
Oh. Yeah, I think I would definitely wake up, but just sit there for a few moments to try to collect my thoughts and get myself mentally ready for the day, because that's a lot.
You see Gil gets what looks like 4 different cups. One of them is made of wood, another 2 are made of pewter, maybe only one of them is ceramic, but mostly a mismatch menagerie of cups. And he pours what looks like this brackish brown liquid, this very dark, deep brown liquid into all of these cups, and starts to walk over to you and Moggs and hands 1 cup to each of you. And he goes like, "Do you want some cream or sugar?" Those of you who are aware of this know that this is coffee. I'm assuming Moggs has no idea what this is.
Am I supposed to?
Probably not.
To Gil.
Do you like sweet things?
I think so.
He takes like 2 spoonfuls of sugar, puts them in, and then thinks for a moment, puts a 3rd one in. Then he goes, "Do you like things that are bitter?"
I think so.
Okay. What about you, Miss Lumia?
I could do with a bit of cream and sugar. That would be lovely.
He puts cream and sugar in your coffee until you tell him to stop. and then goes and sets coffee down in front of Harvey. Haru, what would you say? Does Harvey like coffee? And if he does, how does he take his coffee?
I would say Harvey doesn't really drink coffee.
Cool. If that's the case, then the cup that he does provide to you looks like it is a... would you say that Harvey drinks tea?
Yes.
Cool. It is a cup of tea. It is not like the highest quality tea by...
I was just going to drink it to be polite.
Yeah. But he does set down a cup of tea and sort of goes like, we got a long day ahead of us. Got to make sure we got some pep in our step. Should I go give the coffee to the big man, or was he gonna rip my head off?
I think he'll be okay. One of us should probably go greet him for the day and make sure that he's well.
Can you give him this and say it's from me as like a, I don't know, like a makeup gift? So that we can really start to bond with our relationship together?
I'll go give it to him.
I sense a budding friendship between that big man and I.
Lumia grimaces.
I want to foster it.
Mox is sipping at her drink and just has like the most confused face. Like just does not know whether or not they like it or...
And so I'm gonna ask this of Fen. Do you think this would be Moggs's first time ingesting caffeine?
I was already ahead of you on that one.
Okay, cool.
Shit.
Awesome. So he leaves one of the coffees and the milk and sugar on the tray. He takes his own coffee. It looks like he takes his coffee black. He just starts to sup from the cup. Maybe within the first like 2 or 3 sips, he's got his cup already halfway done. And he sort of looks out, draws the curtains from the window, sees the waves outside, or the water outside is very still. Kind of nods, seeing the wooden dock. It's in a bit of disarray as a consequence of the fact that there's a fully broken boat that is adjacent to it. But he kind of like puts one arm under the other, and then holds his cup close to his nose. The sort of steam rising up, and he's like, "All right. So on the agenda, the moment that we fix the boat, we can go out and see Mr. Fishgod, and then we can give him his fucking name. Does that sound good?"
I have a list of names written down.
You have a list?
This is me. This is Haru. I have a list somewhere that I was so excited about.
Hey, we can give you time to pull it up, but you guys still need the lumber and to actually repair the boat. Those are sort of like the next steps.
I think, at this point, I would probably, it's the beginning of the day. I don't recall us eating very much yesterday. I think Lumia would actually take out some rations and begin to eat and offer Gil some.
He sort of sees that you're offering rations to him, and he goes, That's very sweet of you, honey. I appreciate that, but... Oh, these old bones. Nuts and dried berries and dried jerky. I'll be honest with you, that would rip my stomach up something fierce.
Oh no.
Look, all right. I can make us some sweet oats if you would like. Maybe some bread.
No,
I don't know much. Some fish. We got fish.
Why were you eating books?
All right. Listen. The fiber, it's good for me.
No wonder you can't keep anything down.
All I have to do is just not break when I'm playing this character, and I can't fucking do it.
So Muggs was given like a regular human-sized cup of coffee,
yes,
right?
A regular human-sized cup for your tiny.
So she's like halfway through it now and is still as puzzled, but is like kind of enjoying the experience of being puzzled by it, I guess.
You feel marginally more energetic. It hasn't really kicked in yet.
Yep.
Yeah, so Gil is going to go ahead and finish off his cup, set it down on the countertop. and he's going to step outside and sort of assess the lumber that is at the front door. I'll go ahead and ask, Harvey, I believe you were going out to greet Caius.
Yes, and I don't know what I was bringing with me.
You were bringing a cup of coffee.
Okay. So I guess I'm gonna like peek my head into the. I guess I'm not gonna peek my head in the chicken coop yet, but I'll like.
So the coop itself is more of like an open thing. There's maybe like 2 sides are fences and 2 sides are walls with a roof, and there's maybe like a post and some gates and stuff. So like you step outside, and the moment that you do, you see a conscious but maybe like a little groggy Caius sitting up with feathers on the top of his head from sleeping in a chicken coop. Okay. And the 2 of you kind of lock eyes as you step outside.
So I'd like to, I'm gonna walk forward and like extend the mug and be like, hey Caius, the old man has offered you a peace offering.
What is it?
It's a bitter drink that will give you energy for the day.
Ironically, I would say Caius
is
probably not familiar with what coffee is, but you've almost certainly had poultices and stuff of that nature that have had similar properties. So you hear bitter drink that gives energy, and you're like, oh yeah, totally, I've had that.
Gotcha. So Caius is gonna like take a look at the cup, and
it's not a color you recognize.
No, of course, and he's a little apprehensive about it because of how everything went yesterday with the old man. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna be like, "What did he put in this? What is he trying to pull this time?"
I watched him make some for Lumia and Moggs first, and they're okay.
Right. Let's go ahead and pause on that for a moment, because the last time I drank something.
Oh yeah.
You think he's just gonna try and drug you?
Oh no.
Because Moggs was fine the last time.
The old man said he wants to foster your budding friendship.
Well, if that's the case, he's gonna have to do more than just give a cup of whatever this is.
I'd like for Caius to go ahead and make either a medicine check or a perception check with disadvantage, because you're using your sense of smell. Unless you have keen smell.
I don't believe I have keen smell.
Let me take a look at Shifter, because if you did, that would be where it came from. Shifter, bestial instincts, shifting. Nope, okay. So you can either make a perception check with disadvantage to try to smell the cup and determine what's inside it, or make a medicine check to effectively determine via its hue, its viscosity, all that other kind of stuff, what might have been put in the coffee.
I don't know why, but I want to go with the perception at disadvantage.
Perception will be an easier check overall, like the DC is lower.
Okay, gotcha.
No.
So I'll take that. Go fly.
What you got?
Well, shit.
Oh God! What's your bonus?
Shit. My bonus is it's a +2.
+2, so that's a 4.
Yeah, it's just a 4.
Man, it smells like
a bit in your nose.
It smells like a cup of coffee.
I don't know what a cup of coffee is.
It smells like what Bear knows is a cup of coffee. So it's got that like. It smells really good. Like, I don't know. I personally love the smell of coffee. It's the taste of coffee that kind of gets to me. But the actual, like, the scent coming off of this cup is it's positive to your mental faculties.
So is Harvey, like, holding the cup out towards Caius?
Yeah, unless Caius has taken the cup.
No, so Caius is gonna like gently push the cup back towards Harvey, because at this moment, Caius isn't too trusting of Harvey right now either, after joining in on the shenanigans after last.
Harvey, also, if you want to make either a perception with disadvantage or a medicine check to figure out if the old man put anything in the cup, you can.
I will do the perception with disadvantage.
Cool.
I can't see.
And they're gone. So 6 plus whatever your perception
2.
score.
So
8. Okay. 8 will actually give you some information here. The DC for this, for reference, was 5. So Caius rolled one below what they needed. You smell. So I'm first going to ask a question to Bear. Does Caius like spicy food?
Yes.
Cool. Has Caius ever had cinnamon?
Probably. Is that something that's out in Feowin like that?
Cinnamon? Probably. It may have been something that was perhaps more rare than other spices, but I feel like cinnamon's definitely something you might have had before.
You know what? If that's the case, then we're gonna say like back in Caius' tribe, they did have people who went and gathered out like spices and stuff like that and brought it back and whatnot. So yeah, he probably would have had cinnamon.
Drink the fucking coffee, bro.
Yeah, Harvey, he did lace this cup of coffee with a very potent drug. It's cinnamon.
Oh, it's cinnamon?
It's just cinnamon. There's actually like a lot of cinnamon in there. He sort of, you gauge that he was trying to size up your party yesterday, and he gauged that you were a tea man, a tea guy, and he gauged that he it seems like the people he wasn't 100% sure on were Moggs and Lumia, but for Caius, he sized Caius up and was like, Caius probably likes spicy stuff, and has provided what is effectively a spiced coffee.
Okay, so I'm gonna smell it and notice and
Singes the nostrils a bit.
Ooh.
In a positive way.
Oh, okay, good. Caius, it seems like the old man did put something in this, but he put spices in it to make it better.
Which spices?
I believe cinnamon.
Oh my god. As of right now, Caius is still not buying it. Is there ever a time where a player can say, hey, roll me persuasion?
I'm going to set the cup down and walk back inside.
There you go.
This is here for you if you want it, bud.
Because he's not going to drink it.
Caius' arms crossed, looking at the cup. The cup is set down on the ground. Caius is still arms crossed, looking at the cup, and then looks up to Harvey to be like, ask Harvey a question. And Harvey has his back turned and is already halfway to the house. Cool. So
Exactly. So
with this in mind, you can choose to do whatever you wish with the cup. But I'll go ahead and go down the line and ask what everybody wants to do for the day, if there's anything specific that they want to do. If not, then we'll go ahead and just play it by ear. But Lumia, is there anything in particular that you want to try and accomplish today? Do you want to try and help with the more physical aspects of the quest? Do you want to try to ruminate on the book, maybe try and get more answers out of it, see what was going on yesterday, or maybe just let that lie? What's going on with Lumia today?
The book is freaking me out, and it feels like too big of a problem to solve. So Lumia would actually like to get her hands maybe a little dirty and focused on the task at hand to kind of take her mind off of that.
Cool. So the sort of like work plan for the labor that is involved in this quest, they're in 4-hour chunks in order to be able to make a check. So in order for you to attempt a check to do any of the things that you want to do, it will take 4 hours, the end of which you get to make the check. So you have to spend the time before making it. You can either go out to collect more lumber because you have half of the lumber that you require. After 4 hours, if successful, you will acquire the remaining amount of lumber that you need, or you can help Gil, who is going to start trying to fashion the lumber into workable materials and then use it to sort of like make the boat. So basically the way that this works is there's like 3 stages to every like chunk of lumber that you get. You have to get the lumber, it takes 4 hours to do that. You have to make it into workable materials, it takes 4 hours to do that. You have to use the workable materials to help repair the boat, it takes 4 hours to do that. Now, each of you individually can do these tasks overlaid over each other. So as long as, you know, Caius is going out to get lumber, and then Harvey and Lumia, you guys can work on making the lumber into workable material, the lumber you already have into workable material. And then once Caius comes back with the new lumber, now you have lumber and workable stuff, and you can work on the next 2 stages. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Basically, you have to get everything, all 2 groupings of lumber to the end of the final stage, at which point the boat will be saleable again. So does Lumia want to help with trying to get the lumber that you have into a workable state, or does Lumia want to go help get more lumber?
I think I want to work on getting it into a workable state.
Cool. So we'll go ahead and touch on that in a moment. It'll be as simple as a check. If you want to add flavor to it, you absolutely may, as Gil will be helping you. More than one person can make a check on this. This is something that multiple people can do. Moggs, how do you think you want to tackle the day?
Moggs is gonna go with Caius to get more wood.
Cool. And I'm assuming, Caius, you do want to go and get revenge on that tree?
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. So Caius and Moggs are going to tag team going to get more lumber. Harvey, what do you feel like you want to do?
I'm going to hang back and I'm going to help Lumia get the wood into a workable... What was the step after that?
Step after that is to actually use the wood to repair the boat. So basically you're turning the lumber into planks.
Okay.
And like all the intricate things that you'll actually need in order to repair the boat. And then the next step is using those planks to actually nail it in. And
I'm going to do that.
Cool.
I'm going to do the last step.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll let you do that last step as Lumia is turning it into planks and stuff of that nature. So...
Okay. Are you sure? I could totally wait.
No. There's no need to. It's basically just assembly line. Lumia makes a plank and then just passes it off to you and you start nailing it in.
We're finally playing Factorio, Jinxie.
Finally playing Factorio.
Oh my god.
So we'll start with the sort of like earliest step in the process being Moggs and Caius. So you two can decide whether you want one of you to make the check with advantage or if you both each want to make one check. But it will be a survival check in order to acquire this wood. The DC of which is a DC 15 survival check. So if you both make the check, only one of you needs to succeed. If one of you makes the check, you do so with advantage.
Gotcha. Okay.
I have a +6 to survival, actually.
Then
Whoever has the highest score generally should be making the rolls.
Then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and help Moggs with this, or Moggs is gonna help me help her.
Hell yeah! So Moggs, go ahead and make a survival check with advantage, DC 15. So we're looking for one of these dice to be at least a 9.
So before I do this, however, I do have a moment.
Yeah, maybe it like kicks in when you're part way to the woods. Maybe.
I was thinking like we get out there and Moggs like takes one swing at a tree and then is like, oh, something's wrong with my stomach.
Caius stops and looks down and Moggs says, "What do you mean?
Oh,
Did you drink that stuff that old man gave you? Because I didn't."
I did. Oh no.
I knew he was trying to poison me.
I gotta go. And we'll scamper a little further off into the woods.
Yeah.
Wait.
Open.
So,
You see him scamper off, out of eye shot from you.
Caius is gonna wait patiently to see wait a little while before going to go after her.
Sure. How long would you say it takes, fam?
First time coffee experience, probably not long.
Probably not that long at all. Yeah. Maybe like
Okay.
5 minutes max.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to be on my way there, I guess, when you're coming back, I guess.
Yeah, you start on the way towards where Moggs went as Moggs is on their way back.
Just got the 1,000-yard stare. It's like, that was horrible.
Okay, Kai's kneels down and pats Moggs on the back of would you like me to kill him when we get back?
No. Maybe no.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
That I don't think.
Right, well,
I don't think I like that drink.
Are you feeling better now?
Do
you feel like you can help collect lumber? Because if not,
I could do them. I feel empty, but it's fine.
All right, then let's not waste too much time. Let's get this over with because I want to be done with this place.
Cool. Yeah. So go ahead and make a survival check for me, gamer.
With advantage because he's hoping.
Yeah, with advantage. Yeah, 18 plus 6 is a 24. You pass with flying colors. Yeah, so the two of you working cooperatively, you will go ahead and say that you guys managed to find a tool that would actually help with this. You found like a couple of lumber axes back at Gil's place, one of which is probably maybe a little rusty, maybe not like super great, so one of you kind of has to take the poorer of the two. And so we'll explain this as Caius is helping Moggs rather than Moggs helping Caius, because Caius is like, I'll take the shitty one and we'll just do this. And so you guys carve
these axes compared to Moggs.
Oh, compared to Moggs, about their size. So Moggs is, but like Moggs is hardy enough.
Yeah.
They heft it back and kind of like hop up on one leg because of how heavy the axe is, but then they swing it forwards and they actually do manage to land, like they hit their mark. And you carve out sort of like that little wedge in one side of the tree. You start to sort of carve it out from the other end as well, being careful to create less of a wedge so that way it has an inkling to fall to one side. And Caius, you are exceptionally cautious as the tree starts to fall. You actually kind of like push Moggs back a little bit because you know you could take it, but you know for a fact that Moggs would probably be unconscious if something would have happened like yesterday. So you kind of like
catching
push
this one as it falls.
Yeah, basically. But it falls
as
in
the trees go, and then there's also gonna be the Moggs like starts kind of like breathing a little heavily, and it's got like the one hand over her chest as her heart rate is like through the roof.
You're filled with a boundless energy.
Caius looks back to Moggs like, are you sure you're okay? Are you feeling? Are there lasting effects? What's happening here?
For the rest of the time, for as long as you choose to have this effect, you'll have disadvantage on the majority of dexterity-based checks. So things like sleight of hand or stealth or acrobatics, you will have disadvantage on. But for anything that, I don't know, we'll say requires like constitution or maybe even strength, maybe like athletics, stuff like that, you'll have advantage on those. For as long as you so choose. Whatever you feel like would make sense to have advantage on as a consequence of having the temporary boundless energy of caffeine, you will
I think
have.
it'd actually probably be the other way around. Like,
Yeah?
she'd be like, her brain is firing in a way that has probably never fired before, but she feels hollowed out by the events of the day so far, which
Cool.
would be not great for her physical state.
Okay, that's fair enough. I like that interpretation as well. Yeah, so you guys managed to get the lumber required. You sort of hack off the branches and the sort of like the leaves and stuff of that nature. You make sure that it is in a sort of haulable state, and realistically, it is Caius that hauls the tree back. You guys create a divot in the snow. The divot in the snow as you walk back, and you actually see it is a relatively. It's clear in the sense that it is no longer snowing, but it is a kind of foggy day today. There's a radius by which you cannot see, so you're stepping into what is effectively like an inky white, whatever direction you're traveling, there's clouds effectively. But you guys managed to bring it back home after your 4-hour stint, during which we're going to go ahead and have Lumia make a check. Now, you can choose to give Gil advantage on this check, or you can have Gil give you advantage on this. It is entirely up to you. The DC for this is 12, and it is a Carpenter's Tools check. If you do not have proficiency in Carpenter's Tools, you will be adding nothing to this. But Gil does have proficiency, so he adds +2.
Then I would give it to Gil.
if just checking to see if you had Carpenter's Tools proficiency. If not, it's perfectly fine. Then Gil will go ahead and make a DC 12 Carpenter's Tools check with advantage. He needs at least 110. Yeah, he's perfectly fine. So the two of you working together, Gil kind of like points out a couple of things to you, the rudimentary knowledge that he does have. He's very much like not a skilled carpenter. He just has like a cursory knowledge of it. And so the planks that you guys make are, they're not like perfect, but they work. They work well enough. The tools that you guys have at your disposal are perhaps not the most advanced, but you manage to make it work and pass it over to Harvey. Now, Harvey, go ahead and make similarly a Carpenter's Tools check. You do not have anyone helping you here, so it'll just be a flat DC 12 Carpenter Tools check.
me see. I just fucking.
Did you hit yourself in the head with the dice?
I barely threw it too.
So it's
7.
It's slow going. The first 4 hours, you don't really make that much progress because, frankly, you've been here for the majority of your life, and most of the times that you've traveled have been by boat, be it riverboat or actual sailing boat or stuff of that nature. But the intricate workings of a ship are not things that are super familiar to you. So you take a look at these planks of wood, and you've got the nails, and you've got the hammer, and you've got all the tools that you really need. You've got the lacquer and everything to make sure that the ship is sailworthy. You kind of nod, and you look at all the tools, and you start to try and put stuff together. The boat is now resting on what is effectively a wooden stand, so that way you actually have access to the majority of it. And Gil sort of like dusts off his hands as he sets down the remainder of the planks that he and Lumia have created, and sort of like crosses his arms, standing next to you, looking at the boat on the stand. Lumia, you can choose to be here as well if you so choose. But he kind of looks at what you've done so far to the boat and goes like, "Wow, you've made some really good progress so far, Harvey."
Thank you very much. Doing my best.
I feel like he goes over to the boat and kind of like tentatively holds out a hand. He's like, "I feel like there might be some structural integrity problems here." And he taps a finger onto the side of the boat, at which it goes concave fully. It just breaks in the middle.
Oh no.
And he goes, "Fuck,
We just lost Bear.
Bear's dead. The real person, not the character.
Oh.
He's alive! My best friend!"
Oh no.
He points it out and he's like, "I feel like you might have some structural integrity problems here." And the boat breaks as he indicates to that, and you're kind of like, "God damn it."
Okay. That's good to know. I need to give that another shot, don't I?
If you'd like, I feel like I've given Lumia all the pointers that I can for, turning the lumber into workable wood. I can help you out here instead. And it looks like the other two are coming back with the lumber that we need, so we might have extra hands.
I mean, I've never done this before, so you please help.
Hell yeah. Are you all right with that, Lumia?
Sounds great to me.
Cool beans. And he starts to help Harvey. So now that Moggs and Caius have come back with the rest of the lumber, there's only 2 tasks that can be performed: either fashioning the remainder of the lumber into workable wood, or using the workable wood to actually, make it into the boat itself. Now, I will say, the more people that are actually working on the boat, the more likely it is that you'll just be able to get both sections of work done all at once. So it may actually behoove you guys to have multiple people working on that, comparatively to just fashioning it into workable wood. So who between Caius and Moggs wants to help Lumia, and who between Caius and Moggs wants to help Harvey and Gil?
I don't want to be anywhere near Gil right now.
All right, so Caius will help Lumia.
Because right now, I promise you, Caius thinks he's like poisoned Moggs.
Gil, upon seeing you return, has the most shit-eating grin. Harvey, you noticed this. He has the most shit-eating grin that you've ever seen on a human face before. As Caius sort of like steps forwards and drops the log on the ground. And you see that Gil kind of like
coffee. I don't remember.
No.
Okay. Sorry.
You see that Gil waves to you, Caius.
Caius's like eyes narrow something fierce. He's like almost got like the biggest like grimace on his face.
Did you enjoy the coffee, my friend?
I don't think I did not drink your coffee, old man. If anything, I should strangle you for trying to poison Moggs.
What? Looks at Harvey for a moment and goes, "Poison? What the?"
I think he's just upset he slept with the chickens.
Yeah, I'd be upset if I slept with them too. The rooster's a dickhead.
Look here. Look.
Where do I look?
Caius takes a deep breath in and just turns to go help Lumia.
Specificity is important, Caius.
your life is also important, and that's fading fast.
Aw.
Wow, you think my life's important? He puts a hand on his
Don't
chest
you.
and seems genuinely touched. That's so nice of him. Harvey, you've got a good friend. Let's work on this boat. And he... who does Moggs wish to help? Lumia and Caius or Harvey and Gel?
What? I don't know where Moggs would feel like she would be most useful in this situation, even.
If you'd like, it entirely depends on you. You could let Lumia and Caius and Harvey and Gil make their checks, and if either of them fail, I'll let you then kind of like make a roll for whoever it is that failed, if you'd like.
Kind of like a swing helper, yeah. Goes where people need a hand, just kind of like bouncing back and forth.
Yeah,
He'll burn off some of that caffeine.
Yeah.
running back and forth. Just You know what? Actually, I'm gonna give this to you. You can help both sides because of the fact that you are high on caffeine right now. You are souping. So
How you guys did over here?
yeah, just so Moggs during this process, no matter whether it's successful or not, Moggs effectively is not only the person who is ferrying the wood over, Moggs is also the person who is making sure that the nails are already set in the wood and making sure that the planks are being put where they need to go, to the point where Harvey, you and Gil are kind of just like waiting for Moggs to come back with the rest of the wood because of how efficient this has managed to become. So let's go ahead and have either Jinxie or Bear make a carpentry check.
Can I ask a question as Jinxie?
Yeah, of course.
Is this a situation in which I can provide guidance?
Yes. So it is a skill check that is, rather than using a skill proficiency, using a tool proficiency. So yeah, you can give whoever's making the check guidance.
Okay, I lean over and I put my hand on Caius' shoulder and I say, "Morning guide you," and I cast guidance.
Cool. So if that's the case, Caius, go ahead and make You.
No, I'm talking about Caius doesn't know who morning is.
Oh my god. Make a carpentry check with advantage and a d4.
Alrighty. What is happening?
So you don't have a bonus, but you did roll 8 plus 4 for a total of 12, which is the DC.
I was about to say, I thought I did have a bonus because I'm proficient in carpentry after like learning from my father.
Yeah, so if you are proficient, you're going to add your proficiency bonus to it. So that's actually a 14.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, yeah, so you guys managed to fashion the wood very, very well. We'll go ahead and now ask for Harvey. I assume you're going to want for Gil to make this check since he has the proficiency.
Yes.
Cool. So he'll make it with advantage. Whoosh. Flying colors. He manages to use the wood to fashion it into the boat. I am going to go ahead.
Is there any
and...
chance I can learn quite a bit from watching him?
I'll go ahead and say that would be a flat intelligence check. Whatever your intelligence bonus is, add that to the roll of a d20. I'm gonna say that to spontaneously learn carpentry would require a natural 20 and nothing else. But to make progress, kind of like how Moggs is making progress towards learning the giant language, I think it would probably be like a DC 17, we'll say. DC
right
18,
off the
17.
map.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. So like you understand some very, very basic part of carpentry, but it's not something that you feel like you will be able to retain unless you keep up the practice.
Can I learn how he hammers the nails in so straight?
Sure. Yeah. You could write that in your notes if you want to.
Can I put that in under my tool proficiency? Nails going straight.
Sure. Cool. You know how to hammer nails in very straight.
Now, to clarify on this, pythons are just big nails, right?
Yeah, they're very big nails.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just.
Yeah. No, I'm glad for the clarification. I'm glad.
Okay,
the concept of like whatever your intent is by pursuing something that might feel goofy to me but has an actual purpose to you, I appreciate. So knowing you want to use it for pittance, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm just trying to stay relevant.
Sure. Now, with that having been done, Fen, the only other check that needs to be made is another check to fix the boat. So if you want to just use your roll for this 4 hours to do that, you absolutely can. It would just be a flat looking for a DC 12 carpentry tools check.
Carpentry tools. I don't have carpentry.
So then it would just be a flat roll of a D20.
Okay. Can I help myself?
Fuck it, yeah.
Just so buzzed.
It's an after image.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
All right.
Well,
I tried.
So 8 hours worth of work. You guys have one more step to complete. You do see that at this point in time, it's maybe about midday, maybe getting towards like afternoon. You see that Gil kind of like rings a bell and is like, "All right, fellas, let's stop for lunch. We don't want to overwork ourselves."
You know what? Actually, let me inspiration that.
Hell yeah! If you wanna go ahead and use inspiration.
Oh my god.
Beautifully.
I got a 16.
You don't say.
Yeah, so you guys managed to complete the boat. It's not large. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, as you guys are sort of like surveying the boat and putting it back together, it was hard to tell because it was in tatters, but now that you've actually put the pieces back on the boat and, you know, bent the wood, put the lacquer on, you're waiting for it to dry. It is a small boat that's very clearly designed for like anywhere from 2 to 3 people to be on. It can have more people on it, but it's not designed for it. It's very much so like this is a boat that an old man uses a pair of oars to get out, you know, a little bit and then fish and then go back. And he does that pretty much every day. It's not like a sailing boat or like a pontoon or like a proper fishing boat. He doesn't cast nets over the side. He just has a little fishing pole and
dinghy.
Yeah, pretty much. It's almost less than a day. Like this is a rowboat basically. But you guys managed to fully complete it. And the moment that he sort of like assesses the sort of sturdiness of the boat, he turns to you all and holds out a bag of coins and kind of just points with that bag of coins to the 4 of you. It's like, all right, who wants it?
Oh.
I'm not giving. It's yours. It's collectively yours. You get to decide what you want to do with it. But this is the first half. You helped me fix my boat. This is 30 gold. I'm a man of my word.
Caius is not going near him. He's walking away. He's actually going to take a step back and let you guys decide on that.
Caius is such a brat today.
He actively follows Caius.
That's.
Oh no, I will step in and heartily accept the gold before Gil can make his way over to Caius. Thank you so much, Gil.
Okay.
Oh no.
Well, I'm sorry, but like with everything that's happening to Caius, he has a right to right now.
All right. Well, I mean, let's eat some lunch. I got some grilled fish and some rolled oats, and you know, it's not the greatest stuff in the world, but the fish is fresh at the very least. And he serves up a full-fledged, like however many fillets of fish you guys actually want. It's deboned, deskinned, everything. Grilled very well. Looks like he actually knows how to cook.
Never seen a kobold eat so much so quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say Boggs is, there's it's clear that he understands that adventurers are like they stick around for a bit, they eat a shit ton, but they are super helpful, and so he's trying to be accommodating. He actually does have enough food to feed you all plus a little more. So yeah, he sort of plates himself a fillet and a little bit of the rolled oats and starts to eat and sits down. He goes outside and sits on one of the benches, and anyone who wants to join him to have a conversation may, or anyone who wants to speak amongst themselves may. This is the opportunity for roleplay.
I have a question. Is there any like lumber left over?
We'll say there's a bit.
Okay, Caius is gonna go start carving out models like out of the wood with the leftover lumber.
Hell yeah, make a carpenter tools check for me. I think that the only way you would fail this is on a natural one. It's just the sort of like efficiency by which, and a total of 12, that's not bad. Do you take any of the food?
Any of the food, yes.
Cool.
He does need to eat. He knows that much.
It tastes good. It does. It's. I mean, the oats are bland, but the fish tastes good. On a 12, I'll say sort of like in between bites of the food, you can kind of start to get a carving finished here. It's not the most intricate carving that you've done, but you have the beginnings of it. If I may ask for Bear to send me in a DM what it is specifically that you want to carve, if you want to keep it a secret. If not, then you can vocalize that to the party.
I mean, it's not really a secret. Right now, he's just carving out tar.
Cool. So you've got a pretty sizable chunk of wood to make sure you can actually get in all the details, because frankly, he's got a lot of details, namely the sort of like boils and bumps all over him because he's a troll. But
this is his calming mechanism.
Yeah, it works pretty well, actually.
Some point you look over and you see Moggs like has their head turned to the side so that it's horizontal, like fully pressed up against a plate with their mouth open wide, just like shoveling food straight into their mouth.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. Cool. Is there anything that anybody wants to do during lunch? Because if not, we can cut to the actual quest, what you guys are here to do.
I'm good.
I don't think
Cool.
Lumia would have anything.
Awesome. Moggs, how
On
you
with
feeling?
the quest.
Yeah, here we go.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, the first thing that happens when you guys finish lunch is you see that Gil comes to take your plates, and you actually see if Caius does not actively attempt to flee from Gil, Gil does silently offer to take your plate and silverware to the kitchen. He just approaches you with another plate and another pair of silverware and reaches out his hand.
Who, to me?
Yeah, he's not chiding
Okay.
you or fucking with you or anything. He's just reaching out his hand.
Okay. Since Kai's has like kind of calmed down a little bit, he's not gonna say anything, but he is gonna hand him the plate and the silverware.
He sort of stacks the plate, and would you say that you're still like carving at this point? Now that you've finished eating, presumably you're actually getting to proper work on the carving.
Yeah, I am.
He takes note of that. You see visibly as he takes the plate, his eyes cast down to your carving, and he steps further into the room, collects everybody else's plates, and he's like, all right, claps his hands together. The boat is seaworthy. We could wait a little longer if we wanted to make 100% certain that the lacquer has dried, but I am an impatient man. Let's go out there so I can actually fish. Does that sound good?
Are we all gonna fit on this boat?
No! Absolutely not!
No.
So should some of us stay back?
Well, that's the thing, right? I'd say because of the fact you have a little friend, pointing directly at Moggs, because of the fact you have a small one, the other three of you, plus them, will probably fit on the boat just fine. I can just stay on the shore. This is potentially dangerous. This thing has attacked me. It's the reason my boat was in shambles. It destroyed my boat. Now, I trust that you guys will not, make sure that the fruits of your labor are for naught. And making sure that my boat remains relatively intact. But I am going to give you a fair warning. The method by which the boat was initially destroyed was that the creature traveled in a straight line very quickly. So I'll let you do with that information what you will. Good luck. And he gets the boat into the water adjacent to the harbor, and he's holding the rope that is keeping the boat on the harbor and waiting for anyone who wishes to board the vessel to do so. It will hold all of you.
What did you want us to name it?
I don't know. You can, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, you could name it or you could kill it. if you wanted to, brute force it, I just needed to not be here. I figured naming would be the more humane thing to do because it's been asking for a name this whole time.
So,
I could also come with in the case you want me to talk to it, but I feel like I would just piss it off. He doesn't like me very much. What? What does he usually? Oh, he, comes up out of the water and he goes, "Give me a name," and I go, "Gerald," and he goes, "That's no," and then and I'm like, "What name do you want?" And he's like, "A name." What's so funny, Lumia? Sorry.
You couldn't help that one, dude.
Gerald.
You never named a fish?
No, it would appear not, but there's a first time for everything, Gil. There's a first time for everything. Okay, well, Lumia is, I'm gonna hop on the boat. I'm gonna get on the boat.
Who joins Lumia?
I'm also going to get on the boat.
Cool.
Yep, might as well follow along.
Awesome. And Caius, you are the last on the dock. You actually see Gil is still standing there. He's looking straight at you at this point, and he kind of like sizes you up and goes, "Be careful. For real. If the water is its domain, and as far as I can tell, it's definitely not yours. So if he dunks you into the water, just don't get eaten, okay?"
Caius looks down at him and squints a little bit, but then he gives a little shrug before actually going and stepping on the boat with them, because even though he is at odds with the old man right now, he did say it could be dangerous, and if there's a dangerous situation, Caius would more than likely want to be there for it.
Cool. So he, Caius, you step past him, and then he sort of tosses the rope into the boat, and he's like, "When you start coming back, make sure to toss that rope to me. I'll go ahead and wait on the docks for you all. Make sure that you get back safely. The oars are in the left-hand side here," and he sort of gestures to where there's a pair of oars that are sort of fastened onto the wall. And he goes, "And that about does it. Just come back in one piece, and the boat too."
I have a question. How far out are we going?
Are you asking Gil? Because he can give you the answer.
Okay. Gil, how far out are we going?
So, the last time I saw it, when it attacked me, I was probably about 1,000, maybe 1,500 feet out.
Oh my God,
That was
It's oddly specific. All right.
No, I know what you're doing. I get it. I get you.
I was 1,000 to 1,500 feet out, also known as 200 squares. If we used 5 feet by 5 feet as a grid pattern in the entire world to designate measurements of distance by which we can travel.
Oh my God.
Why would we do that?
I don't know. Just if you did.
It's like 6 Minecraft chunks.
He pushes you out into the water before anyone can question you.
Oh, to see the world through his eyes.
Cool. So yeah, you guys set out, and it is foggy out right now. It's difficult to see really in any direction.
Anybody want to row?
I'll help, bro.
I was about to say just me. Okay.
I've been chopping wood. I believe I'll be taking a load off here.
But you guys know that you are going into a potentially dangerous scenario, and as a consequence, I will assume everyone has their weapons at the ready. In whatever manner you choose to have them ready, I'll let you guys decide when if combat begins. It is not a guarantee, it is a possibility. If combat begins, what weapon you choose to brandish at the time. Mostly that's for Harvey, because I believe Harvey is the only one with multiple weapons that they would draw at a time. If you'll give me a moment, I'm gonna go ahead.
2 right here.
All right. Which one will you pull out?
Well, I got 4.
Jesus.
So, me, Finn, I don't know one, but Moggs almost immediately just starts singing a sea shanty.
I wish I knew sea shanties. I really wish I did. Hold on, I have it.
Lever, Johnny, lever. That's the only one I know.
All right.
I know like 3.
I am going to pull all of you guys onto this map in a moment, but for the time being, I am actually going to spawn all of your characters, and I will let you guys decide where you want your characters to be. There are 5 tiles that you can be on in the whole boat and not incur any potential risks. There are an additional, what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tiles that you could potentially be on, but anytime you take damage while on those tiles, you will need to make a saving throw or fall off the boat.
Oh gosh.
You'll see when I actually pull up the map for you.
Thank God for dexterity.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be a dex saving throw.
Yeah, sure.
Now, I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Now, this is like since me, yeah, you know, since me and Harvey like got here by boat.
Yeah.
Would we have some knowledge?
I'm going to say you will have the most rudimentary knowledge possible.
Fair enough.
Now, just so that way we are
This is cool.
Just so that way we're fully clear on what tiles are what, I'm going to ask for everybody to turn on Creature Snap to Grid. So that way there's no misinterpretation on what tiles are what. I'm actually going to say, for the purposes of the boat, this tile is safe only for Moggs, because Moggs is small.
Fair.
I found my home.
This tile, this tile, this tile, this one, and this one are the 5 safe tiles for everybody. I'm going to go ahead and use Harvey's model as sort of like an example here. This is a dangerous tile.
Oh,
This one,
I didn't know you
and
could get up there.
this one, and this one, and so on and so forth. So any tile that your model can stand on, but you have to stand on like the edge, you risk falling into the water if you take any damage. You can technically stand here, but I'm gonna say this is the water. I don't know.
You're like hanging on.
Yeah, you're like really not doing hot there.
Is the water a floor, or if you drop the thing?
So here's what will happen if your characters ever fall into the water. You won't move your mini until I've finished repositioning you. I'm going to enable flying on your miniature, move you into the water, and then we're going to roll a die to see how deep you go.
Oh God.
That sucks.
This just got way scary, dude.
If you do not have a swimming speed, you will move at half speed while you're in the water. It is considered difficult terrain. And the same rules do apply as they do on the surface for diagonal movement. So keep in mind that if you move in any of the 6 cardinal directions, those being straight up, straight down, straight left, and straight right, you move your, in air quotation marks, normal speed, which in the case of the water is half of your walking speed. But if you were to move, let's say that you're 65 feet down, like Harvey currently is. You want to move up and like forwards, like towards the oar right now. So you would move up 70 feet and then you would move forwards 1. That is considered a diagonal movement for the purposes of whether or not you double your movement.
Right.
So remember, the first diagonal movement is free. The second one is 10 feet instead of 5 feet, and then 5 feet, 10 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet, so on and so forth. So your first diagonal movement in any given situation is fully free. And,
Okay.
So I'll let you guys put yourselves wherever you want to be on the boat to prepare yourselves for the prospective encounter that you're about to have.
I mean, we could. How long is it? Each turn is theoretically like what, like 8 seconds?
Each turn is 6 seconds.
6 seconds?
Yeah.
So like we could be under there for a couple of turns.
The determination for how long you can be underwater is your Constitution score is the number of minutes you can be under there.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. Yes. Yeah, you are super. That's why I say you guys are superhuman.
Okay.
That's why. So when I explained to you guys before that like 8 to 10 is the average, if you have a negative to your constitution, you can hold your breath for maybe about 15 seconds. If you have a 0, you can hold your breath for 30 seconds. And then 1 is 60 seconds, 2 is 2 minutes, 3 is 3 minutes, so on and so forth. So that's why you can understand when I say you can hold your breath for 5 minutes being a constitution, 20. You're crazy. That's nuts.
Gotcha.
Most people can only hold their breath for about, 30 seconds to a minute.
Alrighty.
And there are a couple of important things. Any amount of speaking, any communication that you attempt to do underwater that involves you opening your mouth and speaking, I don't know why the fuck you would do that, you will immediately lose all of your oxygen and begin to drown. This includes, Lumia and Moggs, casting spells with vocal components.
Oh boy.
If you are underwater and you use a spell with a verbal component, you will lose every little bit of oxygen that you have. And drowning, for context, if you begin your turn, if you end your turn while you are drowning, you immediately go to 0 hit points.
Ooh.
It is an instantaneous, you are floating to the surface and drowning.
You were going to say drowning, for context, is bad.
I mean...
You wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah, what's up?
Featherfall and falling in water.
There's no reason to featherfall in the water. You effectively have permanent featherfall in the water.
Okay.
When you guys
doesn't double up or anything?
No. When you guys fall into the water, what I'm going to do, just for mechanics wise, I'm going to roll a d6, and then I'm going to multiply that by 5, and that is the depth by which you travel. Casting featherfall will not change that.
Okay.
Is everybody ready?
As we will ever be. I will totally ask some of this to be repeated if I somehow wind up overboard in this boat.
Cool. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. I need to get the monster stat block up.
Oh, gosh. Good.
I saw that shadow down on the bottom of the play area, and I was like, "That's a big fish."
No. There's nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a boat. It's the shadow of the boat.
Right.
Cool. Hold on. I'm gonna like set the atmosphere to be a little colder looking. There we go. Maybe like more
That's
fog.
cool.
And maybe it's a little darker. Cool. That looks more appropriate for like a frost.
You try to set the mood.
I mean, I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm the set dresser. So, Harvey and Caius each have an oar in their hands as they're sort of rowing the boat out. You all have a very vague gauge on where you are in conjunction to land, so you're not going to lose your way, even though it is very foggy, and by the time you guys are not even, 200 feet out, you can no longer see the dock. And so you start to row, and the sound of the waves in the water lapping against the side of the newly repaired boat. You guys have done a genuinely phenomenal job. You're not seeing any leaks spring up. You in particular, Caius, you're not... like shipmanship, like crafting ships is not something you're super familiar with, but like carpentry as a craft just involves all woodcraft. So you're taking a look to see like, is this watertight? And yeah, it is fully watertight. You've done a phenomenal job.
Good news, everyone. The boat's intact.
So
I'm glad to hear it, because the first time I put it together, Gil came over and touched it and it fell apart.
Oh.
I guess that doesn't make everybody feel comfortable.
Nah, I feel like that should have kept that information.
It's at this point in time, Lumia, that you hear the wood that you're seated at the back of the boat. The wood that you're sitting on, as well as the wood beneath your feet, creaks like harshly, and you sort of like just feel a sweat on the back of your neck. You're like, okay.
It's awful, man.
I jostle and grip both sides of the boat.
Like you act the act of, because of how small the boat is, the act of you quickly gripping the sides of the boat makes the boat rock left and right.
I utter a silent prayer to morning and close my eyes.
Boggs is like rocking back and forth on it, like cheerily, like.
Yeah, this would be like one of your first times being actually out on the water, wouldn't it?
Functionally, yes. Although she's had tangential exposure, I guess would be the way I'd phrase it.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. Cool.
So it's familiar to her in that way, where something is familiar, but you've never actually done it.
There's like a weird sensation where it's almost like there's the nature versus nurture and all that other kind of stuff, like who you become as a person as you grow up. It's almost like the inverse of that, where it's like your nature as a kobold has really nothing to do with the ocean, and your crew had everything to do with the ocean in terms of a nurture level, but it's almost like by osmosis to like existing around those people for so long who were seafarers for the majority of their life, you have a natural inclination to be on the water. It's very comfy. And that is where we sort of set our scene, is Moggs, you're looking out the very front of the boat. I don't know the proper terms, so forgive me for saying front, left, right, and back.
Do you want to know the proper terms?
I don't think it matters. This is a small.
Oh Lord, you'd have activated Finn.
It's a small enough boat where I'm not certain that the difference between those things is going to be significant enough. You see, the water is relatively calm. Like it's moving. There are ripples in the surface of the water as a consequence of very, very, very gentle waves, but there is a unnatural movement of the water that is directly in front of the fore of the ship. Maybe about like 60 feet forwards, you see it. There's a movement in the surface of the water that you don't recognize as being natural.
Movement ahead.
What kind? Is this our fish? Is this what we're looking for? Can you tell?
It's moving.
Do you guys stop rowing?
Yes. Is it coming directly for us?
Can I make a check to see if I can?
Yeah. So anybody on the ship can make your choice of a survival check or a perception check.
Okay.
I will say, because of the nature of the fog, perception checks will be made with disadvantage.
Wait.
For the whole session.
Before we do this check.
Who do you guide?
Nope. Lumia somewhat shakily stands on the boat, rocking from side to side, nearly queasy with the motion of it. She presses her palms out in front of her, moving her arms slowly in opposing circles, and whispers dissipate as she casts Create or Destroy Water to destroy the fog within a 30-foot cube.
Very, very smart. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and ask: Do you want to dissipate the fog in the immediate area of the boat, or do you want to dissipate the fog where you were seeing the creature? Because it is a 30-foot cube, which, if I am not mistaken, is effectively a 15-foot sphere. So this is the amount of fog that you will end up getting rid of, is about that much.
Oh.
I'm going to take a call from the group.
It's a long fucking boat.
One of these will help us later, and one of those answers will help us now.
So you'll go ahead and dissipate it around the boat?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it around the boat.
Cool. So the fog dissipates, and it's not so much of, you haven't created a force field that will permanently prevent fog, but the nature of this fog is a very slow rolling. You imagine that for perhaps the next couple of minutes, you won't have, as long as you remain where you are, you won't have to worry about fog in your immediate vicinity. And as a consequence, you guys look down at the water and see it's very clear. The water is quite pristine. You can actually see down a fair ways as far as you can tell. There is a depth that is beneath here that is maybe a little unsettling. Perhaps I'm not going to go into too much detail because I myself have like close to what is thalassophobia, but this is some deep water that you're on right now.
Love that.
Kaius looks over his shoulder, like back at Lumia, like, because this is like something completely new to him. He hasn't like the fog just cleared around him. I was like, that's an unnatural thing. What did you do that?
Lumia gives him a wink and like slowly sits back down because she's about to throw up.
So let's go ahead and get those checks. I'm going to say that even though the fog has not dissipated in the area that the creature was, I'll let you guys make this check in particular without disadvantage if you want to make a perception check or a survival check.
I'm doing survival. Let's see.
I'm using guidance, ?
Rolling across the sea bottom. I am ass today.
Hello, ass. I'm Bell.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna do my perception.
Hell yeah. And then we'll go ahead and go down the list once everybody has. Holy shit! So Harvey,
Huge.
that's
I saw it, guys. I saw it.
So that's a natural 20. We'll get to that in a moment. Caius, what's your total?
5.
Moggs, what's your total?
18.
18. Beautiful. Lumia, what's your total?
9.
9. Okay. I'll be frank, Caius and Lumia, you are distracted by the nature of not only the boat itself, but the nature of the water surrounding you, realizing how deep it is and how much danger you are in as a consequence of being so far away from the shore. It's at this point you guys realize you are over 1,000 feet from shore.
Kaius is like distracted with making sure the boat stays intact.
To contextualize, that way everybody understands the sort of like metric that we're working with here. You guys can move 15 feet per turn in the water. If you dash, you can move 30 feet per turn in the water. That would mean in order for you to reach the shore, it will take everybody except for Harvey 34 turns to get back to shore. Which is, I believe...
Why not me?
I believe because you can dash as a bonus action as well as your action.
Oh, that's right.
You can move 45 feet in the water. But for everybody else, that is almost 3.5 minutes for you to get back to the shore.
Wow.
Now you guys can totally do that. There's nothing that says you can't. But I'm also going to say you are in close to sub-zero temperatures with a monster in the water. So,
do I get any play for that having feathers? And crows are naturally buoyant.
If anything, I would say that your feathers would give you some type of penalty in frozen water.
But I'm like a duck. Like a...
Oh my god.
No. That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
I think that we can explain that with you having a bonus action to also dash. So Moggs, we're gonna get to Harvey in just a moment, but Moggs, you see the ripple in the water again. You can see the sort of displacement of the water. It moves from the front of the boat to the left, to the backside, to the right, and then it disappears completely and looks like it's re-emerging towards the left, approaching the boat. And then before it even gets close to the boat, maybe it's like 40, 50 feet out, it disappears again. You're seeing these displacements in the water very rapidly. Harvey, what you see is a silhouette of a creature that is larger than the four of you combined, sizing up how best to destroy the boat.
Oh no. Guys,
it's not attacking. Okay. But it looks like it's trying to gauge the best angle to do so. It doesn't look like it ironically, you rolled a natural 20, so I have to respect like the fullness of this check that you made. From the interpretation that you have of the manner in which it's moving, you're perhaps not a woodsman, but you've lived in the woods for quite some time, so you have started to understand natural patterns of the behaviors of certain creatures. Perhaps aquatic creatures are a little less familiar, but gauging back to your previous experiences with these creatures, with sort of like woodland creatures, you know when a creature is about to strike and you can gauge the difference between when a creature is about to strike and when a creature is simply gauging its odds. You recognize this as the latter of the two. It is not looking to attack you. It is looking to see if it needs to attack you, how it can do so.
Okay. Sorry, my headphones started crumbling.
They just turned to ash.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Mog's at the front of the ship just rattling off boats, the terms for the boat side.
I feel like Moggs would also
to boat facts.
I feel like Moggs would actually know these things because you lived with pirates.
Oh yeah, that does make sense.
Like for real, you would totally know these things. So that's what you see moments before you hear a voice emerging. What for everyone else, they cannot tell the direction that it's emerging from, but for you, you know that it's coming from the north. It's coming from this direction. It's going that way. You hear first. I'm gonna ask if any of you speak Primordial or Aquan. I think I asked this before.
I do speak Primordial.
Okay. Does anyone else speak either Primordial or Aquan?
Nope.
No.
I do not believe so, no.
Yes.
Yes.
Primordial is the language of elementals. Primordial is the language of what your people can interpret as the gods as well. It is as the name would imply, a primal language that originates from core aspects of existence itself, as your tribe has taught you. And the words that you hear emerging from the mist that surrounds your boat are of the property of water. They are Aquan, which is effectively a dialect of Primordial. It's more complicated than that. Someone who speaks Aquan cannot understand the other, versions of Primordial, but someone who speaks Primordial understands the core language, and there's sort of like a very rudimentary translation that you can do for every sub-language that exists beneath Primordial, which includes Aquan, which you recognize this immediately as you're being spoken to in the language of water.
Gotcha.
I, Bell, am not going to tell everybody else what that sounds like. It sounds like if a fish could talk. I'm going to let your mind run wild with that. But
Hell yeah.
What you hear and understand, Caius, from the mist is you hear the words, "What is my name?"
Upon hearing this, Caius readies his he tenses up a bit and looks around and tries to see if anybody try to confirm that anybody else heard that, or it could. He's just gonna look around and say, "Hey, did you guys hear that? Or are you guys hearing this right now?"
What do you hear, Caius?
The horrible monster noise?
Did you not hear?
Yeah, so everybody heard the noise. The only person who understood it was Caius. What everybody else heard was realistically like a monstrous sound.
I can't help but hear Jormungandr from God of War in my head.
Fair.
Well, I think we found our fish, guys. It's asking what is his name.
Oh.
This is the part perhaps we didn't think through before leaving land. What is his name?
You hear once more from a different direction, Caius. You know the creature is moving. And Harvey, because of your natural 20 earlier, you're actually tracking its movements.
Okay.
You hear again, "What is my name?"
Caius is looking around trying to pinpoint where it is. Does Harvey relay that which way it's coming from?
I can just point to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say at this point, all of you guys are privy to the fact that Harvey is actively tracking something in the water.
Okay.
His nose points at it.
This is definitely something we should have probably discussed before leaving. But what is his name?
I have two names in mind.
Well, it's better than
let's
nothing,
hear 'em.
Harvey.
Okay. Tuna Turner and Mackerel Moore.
Oh.
Whatever. Those are your fish names.
Caius tilts his head to the side, not unsure what either of these mean, but he's gonna tell Harvey. Like he's just Caius is only acting as a translator right now. He's asking for what his name is, and you go ahead. I'm gonna have Harvey go ahead and pick which one you want to go with. This is your quest, buddy.
Aw. Does anybody have a preference?
Whichever one results in us not getting slapped to death to the depths of the ocean.
Okay, probably macro more then.
Okay. So, here's how this is going to work.
Oh, God.
Roll a D100.
To anyone who has chosen... So the way that this quest was presented to you was that there is a fish god in the water. To anyone who has read the book at all, DC for the check that you have to make is lower. To anyone who has not read the book, the DC for the check that you have to make is higher. You guys also fully repaired the boat, so the DC for the check is overall lower.
Okay.
Caius, to my knowledge, you have not read the book.
No, I did not.
Okay. There is a strike system that we're working with here. 3 strikes will result in combat. If you attempt to flee, it will result in combat. If you succeed 1 time, it will not result in combat. All right? So I'm going to ask for Caius, because you are the one who will say it. Anyone can technically say the name, it's just all the words around the name have to be translated by Caius, so anyone else who wants to make this check can choose to do so as long as you roleplay the manner in which you say the name. But anyone who so chooses can make a religion check if you have not read the book, or an animal handling check if you have read the book.
Oh god.
That is desperately unfair.
Because Lumia is the only person that's read the book, correct?
Yeah.
Give me the fucking fish.
Oh my god.
Give me the fucking fish.
What's your bonus to religion?
1.
I want you to know that the only way you could have succeeded on this check was to roll a natural 20.
Let's fucking go.
The DC for the check for you was 25. So I have written here, if the party did not successfully repair the boat in its entirety, the DC that they must attempt is a DC 30 religion check. If they did make the boat, they can make a DC 25 religion check instead. If they did read the book, then it reduces whatever DC this is by 10 and transforms it to an animal handling check. So the DC is 15 for anyone who read the book, and it's 25 for anyone who did not. The only way you could have succeeded is a natural 20. So describe to me the manner by which you and Caius tag team delivering this name to this creature.
I mean, I guess I'm just gonna hand the book to Caius and tell him what I want his name to be, right?
Yeah. So you've got the name written down. You sort of like pass that off to Caius and be like, okay, I want you to say this name. Tell it that it's this name. Do you have any significance for the name that you want to explain to the creature, as that might explain the fact that a natural 20 is you say something significant enough for the creature to be like, I understand that name.
I am your creator.
Oh my god.
God. Okay. All right.
Oh, no.
Caius, what do you relay to the creature, since you are the only one who can communicate with it?
Wait, I was just kidding.
Like, are you saying you're just kidding? Okay,
Yeah,
so am I just relaying the name?
Yeah, it's a fish
Which,
god.
as I recall, is Macrelmore.
Macromore.
Gotcha.
Cool.
That's correct.
So you write it down, and Caius looks at it and then looks at you, and like, I guess without any other thought, he just shouts out Macrelmore.
So, the first thing that you guys hear is a very long silence. You hear no,
It's a sigh.
no response in immediacy. The second thing that you hear is repeated, not in like common, because the creature does not speak common, in its own dialect, but repeated the manner in which it was said to them, which is Macrolmore, like verbally, that is how it was said. You hear it say, Macrolmore. Forevermore, I and my people shall be Macrolmore. And you watch beneath the boat, again, calling back to the natural 20 that Harvey got earlier for their perception check, and the fact that the fog is gone. Beneath the boat, you see the creature that you had been tracking, Harvey, go below the boat. Maybe only 10 feet from you guys, you see that it looks like a gargantuan shark creature. It is truly massive. And behind it, you see 1, 3, 10, 20, 50, maybe 100 other identical but smaller versions of this creature following behind it. And you watch as some of them sort of leap up out of the water and back down into the water as they pass by your boat, some of them jumping literally straight past you. They don't look like they're attacking you in any way. They look very pleased with the fact that they've been given a name. And ask for everyone here, whether you want to or not, make a animal handling check to understand what you just did.
Whether you want to or not.
Morning guide me.
Morning guide you.
All right, here we go.
That's poetic.
Mine
Oh
flashed
my
by too fast.
God.
I didn't see what it
I
was.
saw 15 coming off of Moggs's.
Let me see.
So Harvey, what's your total?
Animal handling, right?
Yeah.
So 3 total.
As far as you're concerned, you've just named God. Caius.
I got a 10 actually.
A 10? Okay,
Yeah,
you might have more context. Moggs.
19.
Okay, and Lumia.
6.
Lumia, you're pretty sure that Harvey has just made some type of fucked up addition to the Pantheon. Like, they're like as far as you're concerned, there's like the proprietor of the underworld, Morning, Macrolmore. Like, that's on the list now.
Oh my god.
Like, standing adjacent to Morning is fucking Macrolmore. I'm gonna say Caius and Moggs both pick up on this. You don't think the creature is a god at all. You don't think the creature was asking for a name in the sense that a god asks for itself to be named. You're pretty certain that you know what this is. This is a exceptionally sentient creature that is sort of the lead or head of a strain of monsters that had yet to be named scientifically, and that you have now given them a scientific designation. This is a new species of creature that was asking to know what it is called. Not itself personally, but it and all of its others.
So you mean to tell me now that all of these are now named Macklemore?
So here's the deal. In the sense that there are silver Skivarti and golden Skivarti and blue and so on and so forth, there are different sort of iterations of Skivarti. This is a creature that exists in other places of the world. They are called a Zergias. They are a relatively territorial shark-like creature that has the ability to shoot jets of water out of specific areas of its body to jettison itself at high speeds, or to shoot like a laser beam. So it's a good thing you guys did not get into combat with this thing, as it would have been able to cut your boat in half. But the Zergias designation is only Zergias. There's no other iteration of Zergias. As far as you're aware, they don't exist in winter climates. They only exist in tropical climates on the equator. This is a new version of Zergias, which is now forevermore known as Macrolmore.
The Macrolmore Zergius.
Yep, it is the Mackerel Morzergius.
Oh, that's a mouthful.
Oh, that is. Oh my god.
I can also give you guys the actual statistics for the creature if you want.
By all means.
Yeah,
so this is the mini that I was going to use.
Oh god.
It is a huge. It is a huge
shit.
creature. So it is a 3x3x3.
Handsome fella.
It has a natural armor class of 15. It has 60 hit points. It has a 40-foot swim speed.
Oh.
It has +4 to its dexterity saving throw, +3 to its strength saving throw, +4 to its constitution saving throw. This particular creature has 6 intelligence, 5 charisma, and 14 wisdom. This is also actually harkening back to the reason why we had that conversation about what makes a creature sentient.
Yep.
So you can kind of interpret it has passing sentience, charisma being its lowest score. It has 2 special abilities and then 1 special action. I know that sounds strange, but they are in different areas on the sheet. It has a special ability called Ice Armor, which it can use 2 times a day. It can use a bonus action to coat its entire body in ice, giving it +2 to its armor class, but -10 to any of its movement for 1 minute. This effect would end immediately if a creature does 15 or more damage with a single strike, or it critically hits the creature. Then it has a different bonus action to intake a great amount of water all at once. It expands its belly supernaturally for 1 minute, increasing its size from huge to gargantuan, which would have taken it from the size that you see here to this size.
Oh my god.
Even better.
while this size, it gains resistance to bludgeoning damage, it removes ice armor, and as a bonus action, it can end this form and revert back to its normal size. But while it has expanded, it can use Water Torrent. It shoots a beam of water from its stomach in a 60-foot line. Each creature in the line must make a DC 14 dexterity saving throw, taking 4d6 cold damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. For context, part of the reason why this combat was going to be dangerous is because you guys are in a line.
Oh, that makes sense.
Me.
So it would just do a full easy line to all of the people who were in the center of the boat, or if any of you had gone to the left or right, it may have made a decision to shoot, to the left or to the right and potentially knock you into the water, so on and so forth.
Would we have had the potential to move one of the oars to turn the boat?
Yeah, you guys would have absolutely been able to move the boat around and potentially change the direction that you are. For the sake of making my life easier, rather than picking up the boat and back down, I may have just been like, oh, so you guys are going to turn the boat 90 degrees to the right? Okay, so it's over there. Because I don't want the pain of having to move it.
Fair enough.
But it also, on top of Water Torrent, did have multi-attack, so it can take 2 attacks in a turn. The only attack of which it has being Bite, which is +5 to hit. It does a d8 +3 damage on a hit.
Oh.
My god.
It's a dangerous creature. But you guys managed to completely avoid fighting it, giving it a scientific designation.
Yay!
God damn it. Having done this, you guys do, you do due diligence and make sure that there's no other creatures that will cause any problems for
also
Gil.
Bell, I'm taking mental note of something.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up?
That was just it. I was like, cool.
That's it. That was the statement. I'm taking
on, brother.
Something.
That was it?
Yep. Just wanting to let you know.
Have you guys ever seen the clip from Dropout Dimension 20 where they're playing, I think it's Starstruck Odyssey, Zach Oyama's character walks up to one of the other characters and one of the characters is fully unconscious asleep, and the other character walks up to him while he's sleeping, and then the sleeping character wakes up, kind of startled, and goes like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And that guy literally just gestures to himself with a quizzical expression on his face. The sleeping character goes, right on, man, and then the other character walks away. That is what you have done.
Good, I'm glad.
I'm taking mental note of something.
Because I know what you're talking about.
Right on. Cool. So you guys do your due diligence and make sure that there's no other creatures that are going to cause any problems out here for Gil. And as far as you're concerned, you guys have managed to dissipate the threat. So you turn the boat around and row it back to shore, at which you see Gil is legs crossed on what is effectively just like a really rickety wooden chair that he's made that is on the dock. It looks like he made himself another cup of coffee, sipping from it. And he sees you guys approaching and goes, "That was fast! That was really, really quick!"
You could thank Harvey for that.
Yeah,
We
we had
give you
a
a
bit of
big
luck.
thumbs up.
Alrighty! He takes another small coin purse with 30 gold in it and tosses it to Harvey. He goes, "All right, fellas, that's 60 gold, done and done. If you'd like, you can stay for dinner. It's getting a little dark out, or you can, set out about your way. It's been a pleasure meeting all of you."
You said it's getting dark out?
It took you 8 hours from the bright early, we'll just say, because you guys wanted to get a head start on the day, you guys got up at like 6 a.m. So when you finished with the boat was about 2 p.m. And after you finished eating lunch and then coming out here and then taking care of this and coming back, I'm going to say it's probably close to 4 p.m. So it isn't getting dark, but it will start to get dark in about 2 hours, maybe 3. So if you were to set out now, you would be traveling at nighttime for at least a little bit of time. For context, a day's worth of travel is about 8 hours, because if you were to travel for longer than 8 hours, you risk exhausting yourself. So if you were to set out now, assuming that it's almost 4 o'clock, you'd be reaching the settlement at maybe about like 8, 9, since it's only a half day's travel.
Okay.
So you could leave now. You could totally make it, but you might have like an hour or 2 towards the end of your travel where you are traveling at night.
And the Skivarti one was on the other side of town, right?
The Skivarti one is like a full 5 days south.
Gotcha.
Okay. Because, yeah, I guess we should discuss this once we get off the boat.
Well, get off the boat then, Caius.
Caius actually steps off the boat and stands right in front of the old man and actually has a question for him.
What's up, big man? He's looking up at you because he is so short.
Caius' arms are folded across his chest and he looks down and he says, "How did you know what that fish was saying, old man?"
I speak Aquan.
How?
Exactly how?
I learned
With
it. What do you
words.
mean how? Yeah, with words. What the little one said. I didn't learn any language.
Fair enough. You know what? After that, Caius shrugs and just walks past him.
He starts speaking in the celestial language, which I assume that Lumia understands.
Yes.
He speaks in the celestial language to you, Lumia, and goes like, "How does anybody learn a language? How did you learn celestial?"
She says back in Celestial, "I know, right?"
And then speaks in Draconic to Moggs, and goes, "Learning languages is really tough, but I'm an old man.
This man is seasoned.
I'm an ancient creature at this point. I've had enough time to learn a lot of languages."
Boggs will say back in Draconin, he has difficulty with other people knowing other languages.
Oh. Puts a hand on your shoulder, Caius, and goes, "Would you like me to teach you?"
How did you reach me?
His arm is like straight up and his wrist is bent.
You know what? He just kind of brushes his hand off and just goes, "No, I don't think we have the time."
And then he goes, "I could teach you, but I have to charge." And then he starts to walk away.
Caius is kind of dumbfounded and just shrugs it off and keeps moving.
Lumia
Does he get the reference though?
I did get it. He would not get it. He does, of course not. Me as a player, of course. What the fuck?
No, I meant Caius.
No, of course he doesn't.
Yeah, so do you guys want to stay here for the evening or do you guys want to set out?
What do you think, gang?
I say set out.
As you guys are like deliberating on your decision, he comes out with full glass like milkshake cups with milkshakes inside and hands them all to you.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
he actually approaches Caius before you guys set out. So actually, let's get the designation. Are you guys going to set out? We've got one vote for setting out from Mox.
Caius is definitely wanting to set out.
Okay,
He
so
wanted
it's
to
two.
set out when he got here.
It's hard because I feel like there's more mystery to Gil that maybe we don't know, but I guess it would be good to get back. We do have a lot to do.
I feel the same way.
Cool. Gil first, unironic. I mean it when he says when I say he comes out with milkshake cups and gives them to you guys. There's like full-fledged like red plastic straws with cherries, maraschino cherries and everything, whipped cream, the whole 9 yards. He also walks up to you, Harvey, and holds out a hand to shake yours.
Aw, I want to shake his hand.
He shakes it, clasps your hand with both of his, and he goes, "If you ever swing by again, I'd love to have another conversation."
I'd love to slip a note into his hand with sleight of hand.
Yeah, so no need to make a sleight of hand check. He's
Okay.
cooperatively, like, if this is like him basic, you know, like with rogues dens and thieves guilds and the whole 9 yards, this is basically like, this is the manner in which you say goodbye to a thief so that you can pass off information. He doesn't have information to pass to you, but if you have information to pass to him, then he will accept it gladly. And so you shake hands with him and he's like, "I truly did appreciate meeting you all, but it seems pretty obvious that you and I have a lot in common. So if you ever swing by again, the door is open." And he takes the message. If you want to DM it to me, so that way Gil has that information, I'll go ahead and like mark it on his little character sheet here. And then he does turn to you, Caius. And he goes, "Listen, big man, I've been a dick. You took it on the chin. You brushed it off. I really appreciate that. So I want you to have this." And he gets out what looks like a very worn but well-kept leather satchel. Looks like something that would go on somebody's belt. And he holds it out to you.
Caius looked down and raised a brow before taking it, and like,
It's not a trick. It's not a trap. It will explain itself when you pop it open.
Caius is quite hesitant, but
There's no spiders inside. Why would you even mention spiders?
I didn't say anything, old man, but
Yeah, you did.
Caius just opens the bag.
You see a set of carpenter's tools inside the bag that are pristine, like Damascus steel, incredibly well kept. This is a set of +1 carpenter's tools.
Wow.
Any check that you make using carpenter's tools will now add an additional 1 to the check. This is not a magic item for context. There's no need to attune to this. This is just effectively a masterwork set of carpenter's tools.
Stopped by the Snap-on truck.
Caius like stops for a moment before closing the bag, and he kneels down.
You see Gil smiling.
God damn it, Caius can't help but give like a small smirk because he can automatically tell that this is what he noticed when he was carving the figure earlier. So Caius takes like a moment to just like place a hand on his shoulder and just give a slight nod. He's not saying thank you, but he's acknowledging.
He gives you a punch to the chest, and he's like, "Door's open for you too. I hope you know that. I'd love to throw another snowball at you sometime." And then he looks to Lumia, and he goes, "So what do you think of the book?"
What do I think of the book? I think the book is inherently evil.
Wow. What the hell? I don't know if a book has the ability to have morality in the way that you're applying it.
Gil, it literally summoned the devil.
Again. How?
I I told you this. I told you. Remember, time stopped and it came out.
Yes, but I feel like I would have known if time, like, really.
Oh.
Oh my god.
I huff in utter defeat and just say, thank you for letting us stay, Gil. It's been a pleasure.
If you see Tally again, by the way, if you see him, tell him that he still owes me 4 gold, all right? I've been trying to get that from him for a long time, but he's an elusive man. He's hard to find. So if you do catch him, make sure to tell him from Gil, hey, you owe him 4 gold. You know what? Tell him interest. It's 6 gold now, because he's an asshole.
What does he owe you gold for?
He lost a bet and then said, sorry, I don't have any gold, and turned out his pockets comically, but then I literally heard his coin purse jingling as he walked away. He pretended like he couldn't hear me. Fucking dick.
So he's both evil and broke. An unholy combination.
Call him evil. He's just like very morally dubious, you know. Like
He also doesn't sound like he's broke.
No, he's not. He's not. He's a very rich man, actually.
Well, rest assured, I will be seeing him eventually, and I shall bring back your 6 gold.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And, little one, I'm sorry. I should have asked if you had coffee before. Are you okay?
Muggs is holding the shake like at full arm's length with both hands. Hasn't taken a sip out of it yet.
Oh,
was like,
shit.
Is this gonna kill me?
You know what? Actually, we should he looks up to Lumia and goes like, do you know if she has lactose intolerance?
That remains to be seen, but after the day that she's had, I don't know that I would chance it.
Okay, I can put it in like a little thermos so you can bring it with you for later.
What's lactose intolerance?
It's when you drink milk or eat cheese and you poop afterwards, but it's like bad. Kind of like what happened with the coffee, but a little different.
Oh, I can drink milk.
Okay. Enjoy. He has a milkshake that he slurps it down, goes back into the store, and he's like, you guys stay safe on the way back to Henst.
You as well, old man. Try not to.
I'm not going back to Henst, you dummy.
What I was about to say was don't.
Idiot.
You know what? Go dive into the water for all I care.
You hear the sound. You hear the sound of feet sprinting on the dock, and then a splash of the water.
The gods called a Macklemore, by the way.
Oh. Why did you name it that?
I did.
That's his name.
Like it just intrinsically was, and you discovered that, or you made it that?
I made it that.
Oh God. Okay, well, I'll just have to remember that. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so you guys set out on your half day's journey back to town. You're a little, we'll go ahead and say you're a little worse for wear at this point. You guys have been working for a good majority of the day. I'm going to go ahead and roll on the random encounter table here. Beautiful. Okay. So
I don't like that.
There is a point in time that you guys reach the amount of physical exertion in a day which would exhaust you. And because I rolled for no encounter today, there is no need for us to worry about you guys incurring exhaustion as you reach town by the end of the day. The sun has set the sun has set like an hour and a half ago at this point. As you reach the town, you can see the last vestiges of light have just now disappeared over the horizon, and you are met with a fully starlit sky. As you approach the braziers of flame that are ignited on the walls of Henst that are now freshly repaired now that they have actually had time to fix the door. It maybe has been like a couple of days, and you see that part of the reason why the wall has been able to be repaired so quickly is because there have been trolls that have been lifting the wood required to do so, and kind of just fashioning it in quick, in a quick manner and putting it in place. It's very helpful to have creatures that are 8 times the size of a human man. But you enter the town. They open the door. One of the guards spots you on the walls. You guys maybe have to like vocalize that you're there because not everybody has dark vision. But you see that the guard kind of calls back and it's like, "Open the gates!" And the gates make a way for you, and you guys are allowed inside. And it's at this point that you actually see it looks like the guard captain is like effectively he just got off work basically, and he's in sort of more casual garb. It looks like he just wears the undershirt that he wears beneath his tunic and jerkin and all that stuff. He wears it after he gets off work. So he just has his like undershirt on and then some trousers and some boots. He still has what looks like a sword at his belt just in case something were to happen. But he spots you as you guys come in through the gate. The guardhouse is right there, so he spots you guys and gives you a wave and kind of approaches you, and it's like, "Welcome back. I'm glad to see that you guys made it in one piece. Gil didn't give you guys too much trouble, did he?"
No, Gil's fine.
Caius kind of rolls his eyes, but he does tap on his little satchel with new carpenter's tool and says, he was something, all right.
He's an eccentric man, I'll tell you that much.
If that's what you want to call it.
He's a dick.
That's more like it.
It's when you're not as honest or when you've got more things to put under a table rather than above it that Gil kind of takes a liking to you. He likes to mess with honest folk, and honestly, there's not really anything wrong with it. He never means any actual ill will by it. It can just get under the skin. You actually gauge, Caius, no one needs to make a check for this. He has had almost an identical experience that you have had with Gil. Where he seems like much more of an above board, sort of like cut and dry. He's an honest guy, and Gil's kind of like, "Oh, an honest guy? I'm gonna make fun of you."
Nerd.
So,
yeah, basically like nerd.
I guess me and like the captain just kind of like share glances of acknowledgement, like I understand.
100%. So I am going to go ahead and say that you guys can rest here for the evening if you so desire, or if you have anything that you want to do before you bed down for the night, you can do that as well.
What kind of rest is this?
Long rest. It'd be an 8-hour one.
Oh, hell yeah.
If you were to continue on for the day, you would be risking some pretty serious exhaustion, like several levels of exhaustion, if you were to go on for too long.
You ain't got to tell me twice. Does anybody have anything that they want to do before we go to sleep?
Before we go to sleep, I do want to talk to the group about the message I got from Gil.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go ahead and say that you guys can get some privacy in the late hours of the evening. I am going to go ahead and say if you guys do want to go to the tavern, Captain Thane, the captain of the guard, he is going to the tavern as well. He is going to kind of just like drink and be merry. So if you want to spend some time with him, maybe ask him a couple of questions, see how the caravan's doing, how it's shaping up, you can do that. If you want to have more privacy, the actual inn above the tavern is a perfect place to do that. You can get a room and then conglomerate in that room before you bed down for the night. And you will have privacy.
Okay, we're back in Henst, right?
Yep, you're back in Henst.
Cool.
Boggs will at least drop by and say hi to Trudge.
Trudge? Yeah, Trudge is, let me make sure that I have it right. I don't remember which of them they are.
Trudge is the cook.
Trudge is the cook? Cool. I'm going to mark that down.
And specifically, I think Moggs is, although doesn't have a full working, at least knows how to like call out and say hello and call his name.
Cool. Go ahead and I know that you're just like passing by. Go ahead and make another check to see if you get more progress.
Okay. It's just a D20 basic, right?
Yeah, just an intelligence-based D20 check. It's tough. It's not easy, but it's also not like you're not learning anything at all. You are applying mechanics to learning a language is weird. You have 1 out of 5 because that's like a small number. Realistically, if we were to put this as like a real person learning a language, you're at like 20 out of 1,000 or like 50 out of 2,000, something like you're learning every time you speak to these trolls. Just for the sake of mechanics, it's 1 out of 5.
And where is Trudge? What is he up to?
I'm going to go ahead and say that what Trudge was doing was taking stock of the supplies that exist in Henst to kind of gauge what it is that they could make for meals.
So it's kind of over in the...
Towards the docks where a storehouse is.
With the rest of the trolls?
Yeah. The rest of the trolls are kind of minding their own business, but Trudge in particular Trudge is for his size, a comically small clipboard and quill, and is like trying to mark things down, and you can hear him under his breath in Giant. One of the things that you do understand rudimentarily is like when someone is swearing, because they're just kind of he didn't teach it to you, you just picked up on it. So he is in Giant. He'll like break the tip of the quill and be like shit, and he'll drop it and pick up another quill out of what looks like a pouch that he has and like attempt to continue, and he gets like a couple of lines and then it snaps and he's like fuck, and he drops it, and that is what you catch him doing.
Okay. Okay, so I have 2 more real quick things then. I would stop by the general store and ask Fimble if he has any ideas for how we could get a better writing utensil for the trolls and maybe writing paper.
Fimble kind of like thinks to himself and he's like, yeah, I think I could probably do something like that. I think it wouldn't be too difficult. It would just need like a bigger clipboard and bigger paper and a bigger quill, right? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I could get that sorted. I could speak with Maroni in the morning and see if there's any supplies that the two of us could scrounge up. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. The only thing that we have right now is just sort of like the small clipboards, small for a normal sized hands, but for troll hands is really, really small.
And check with Tar also and see if there's anything else that they need. And I think I'll leave 2 gold with him.
Okay. He spots the fact that you left 2 gold. He kind of like holds it in his fingers and like, this is going to go to good use. I'll make sure that they get what they need.
And then my other thing was that I wanted to go to the tavern and recommend Trudge to the tavern keep for cooking duty.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so we'll just have a very brief mention of this. The tavern keep sort of like nods and is like, they express that they would actually love to have Trudge in the tavern itself. You are looking at the size of the tavern as they talk about Trudge's size being a potential problem and recognize that Trudge would be very uncomfortable inside the tavern. So then they express to you that Trudge is serving the purpose as the cook for the guard. That he is basically, because of the number of guards that are here, there are a lot of meals that need to be made, and that actually does tend to put a strain on the tavern. And so Trudge is serving the purpose of taking sort of like base ingredients from the storehouses for Henst and making basically just like this big pot of stew every day for the guards. And the tavern keep actually does take note of your recommendation. It's like, I'll be sure to try what Trudge cooks sometime to see if he's got what it takes to be back in the kitchen, and maybe we can make some accommodations. Maybe give him a larger work area to use.
Yeah, he's actually a really good cook. He made really good stew, but they had nothing out there in the wild. So if he had access to your stuff, I bet he'd make something really great.
They nod. They take it.
He probably wouldn't even need to put juice in it.
He shakes his head. He takes what you say very seriously, actually. You guys have helped this town a lot at this point, and so he takes what you say very seriously. He nods and he's like, I will consider that.
That's all I got.
Cool beans. Lumia, is there anything you want to do before you bed down for the night?
Yeah, actually, I would like to pay a visit to Thimble.
Okay. You step in, you actually see Thimble is, it is very late at night, so you actually have to, like, knock, or not very late. It's late enough to where the store should be closed. We'll say Moggs got there probably first and then left, and it was at that point that maybe the, like, sorry, we're closed sign comes up, but you knock, and you see the sort of, like, the little slide at probably, like, waist high for you, because that's how tall Thimble is, opens up, and he kind of, like, has to kneel down a little bit to look up, and you're like, oh, Lumia, give me a second. Closes, unlocks, opens the door, and allows you inside. He's like, hello.
Hi, Thimble. I'm so sorry to come by so late. Is this an okay time?
Yeah, of course. Come on in. You see there's a little candle that's lit by the countertop. Looks like he was working on some documents.
Okay, so I have a question, and you may not be able to help me, but I figured because you guys have general goods, I assume you run into a lot of traders that might kind of come through with various things, and Lumia kind of takes the Book of Deities out of her sack and kind of just gently places it on the desk. And have you ever come across a book like this before?
Well, every once in a while we'll get books, so there haven't been very many that have passed through here. I do remember this one, actually. I think there was a transaction that occurred in town. It wasn't as a consequence of the general store, but there was a transaction that occurred in town with this book. I think it was a rather lanky fellow with a hat with a feather sticking out of it. Sold it to Gil. Well, not sold. I don't know if Gil gave him any money. It was more like a lending or maybe a stealing. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Someone
I
gave
see.
someone a book. That's what happened.
Okay.
It was amicable. Neither of them really seemed to care. Well, I mean, Gil did because he got the book.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, it's quite nice that you've gotten in possession of it. I never really figured Gil to be a man that would be interested in, the deities of Shayla. Knowing that it's in the hands of a cleric is quite nice.
Yeah. Lumia kind of starts to sweat a bit just thinking about how she's unleashed the devil on the world, and begins to feel a little bit of internal shame and quickly picks the book back up and crams it into her bag. So thank you for that. I also had another question, if you don't mind, and then I'll be on my way.
Of course.
When we were here to unfortunately arrest Bohem, I noticed that he gave you a sack, something that he asked you to bury.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, what was in that sack?
A bunch of money.
You're just burying money?
It's not mine.
Whose money is it?
Bohem's.
Now, why would he ask you to bury his money?
So that way no one else gets to it.
I see.
Listen, he doesn't own this store anymore. Like, legally speaking, I've got the deed. It's been transacted to me. So even if Bohem manages to remain here, I own the shop. The least that I could do, as shitty of a man as he might have been, the least that I could do is not take the life savings that he spent a long time accruing, so that when he does come back to get it, he can just pick it up and be on his way, and he doesn't have to bother with me anymore.
That's fair enough, I suppose. Okay.
Bohem's counting on there being a tree, money tree when he gets back out of prison.
He asked me to bury it when no one would find it, so I went ahead and buried it when no one would find it. And now that I'm thinking about it, if he does come back, I don't know how he's going to find it.
Oh.
He told me to put it where no one would find it. So, good luck, I guess.
It's reasonable. Oh, okay. One more thing, and then I promise I'm
it's at this point you actually see he has what looks like a bottle of relatively cheap wine. He pours himself, he refills a goblet that he has, and then gets out a clean one and asks, "Would you like a little bit of wine?"
Oh, no, I appreciate it, but I really must be on my way. And Lumia kind of leans in conspiratorially and says, so if you happen, I heard you say you get books sometimes. If you happen to get books of a certain genre, perhaps romance novels?
He immediately points and he goes like, "You're like Moroni."
What?
Moroni comes in here all the time looking for those types of books. Hold on. Holds up a finger and opens up the trapdoor and climbs down.
Oh my god.
Hold on, I actually have a doc for this.
I want you to know I had to mute with how hard I just laughed.
Yeah, me too.
Holy shit.
I feel like at this point, Lumia is both shocked and equal parts absolutely delighted that there is another person in near proximity that also enjoys the same genre of fiction. She's absolutely giddy. She's already fantasizing about how she might get Moroni to have a book club with her and they could write each other about what they've been reading and maybe even swap books. She's got hard eyes.
Oh my god. Hold on. I'm struggling to find the doc. Give me a second. I'm going to let Jinxie, the player, decide whether or not I DM the titles and the very brief one-line synopses for these, or if you, Jinxie, the player, want me to vocalize the 3 books that he brings up.
I think it's fun if you vocalize them. Is everybody okay with that?
Hey, go off.
I'm not going to go into any amount of great detail, but I'm going to give you the very cursory information that is effectively the synopses for the books. One of them is The Thirst of the Night, a book about a vampire that attends a ball with a well-to-do nobleman who she then falls in love with, but she is slighted to kill. The next book is Hunting Season, a book about a werewolf being hunted by a ranger, who they then discover. She doesn't realize that he's the werewolf that she's hunting, and there's like some amount of romantic attraction that occurs, and so on and so forth. And then Three's Company, a book about, very simply, a party of 3 adventurers in a polyamorous relationship.
Lumia is practically drooling, frothing at the mouth because she has not read any of these. How much?
He sort of like puts them on the table and pushes them forwards and goes, "We'll just go ahead and say that the payment Moggs gave us earlier is more than enough, and you can thank her for these."
Lumia almost is in like a level of ecstasy over the fact that she is not only getting these books, but she is getting them for free. She says thank you and greedily snatches them up and shakes Thimple's hand with both of her hands vigorously.
He is small enough to where you are shaking his whole torso, and he's like, hey. All right, well, I assume, similarly to Moroni, I'm going to keep this on the down low. You enjoy the books.
Thank you so much, Thimble.
Yeah, and so you've learned some information about a group of Moroni. Cool. you abscond with these books, putting them presumably not just in the like at the top of your rucksack, but actually like behind some things, maybe below, so that extra clothes, stuff
Well
like that.
hidden.
They're inside of other tomes.
So you could be reading your cursed ass devil book, but actually be reading like
My
hunting
cursed
season.
ass romance novel.
Cool.
Awesome.
Right, roll 8 cash for arrow books. Oh my god. That's so funny. And we'll go ahead and say this is a perfect spot for us to take a bio break. Fucking naming an entire species of creature, coming back home, and doing a couple of rounds with the people that are there. Normal day. You guys bed down for the evening. Your day's worth of wages being cut to half as a consequence of resting. I am going to go ahead and ask at this stage that we sort of keep tabs on how many days it has been since you became road wardens, so that we know what amount of gold is waiting for you each in your daily wages pot.
What do we get a day?
It has been 4 days.
You get 2 gold a day. You get 1 gold if you spend the night in a inn that is able to be charged through the Road Warden Society, which I believe.
So we should have
guys,
7 waiting for us.
You guys have spent 2 days outside of the Road Warden's lodgings at least, and then you guys have spent, I believe, 3 days in the lodgings of the Road Warden. So yeah, I think 7 is actually correct.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and ask that everybody make sure to write down that you guys have 7 gold's worth of wages waiting for you as you awaken the next day. Relatively amicable now that you guys have had a night's rest in a normal bed. It was very comfortable comparatively to the cots or the chicken coop that you had to sleep in previously. And you awaken ready to tackle the day's challenges. But first, let's go ahead and ask, what's the plan with the caravan and the Skivarti nest? As that is really the only 2 challenges that remain are those 2.
Gotcha. So just to be sure, the Skivarti nest is on the way in which the direction the caravan is traveling?
Yes, so why don't we go ahead and get this sorted pretty definitively. Let's all pull up the map. I'm going to pull it up in a browser so that way you get the bigger version. Cool. So you guys are in Henst, which is in the very top right of the map. You're going to see that there's a river between Henst and Zalam, which you guys are going to have to travel. There is a bridge that actually does bridge the gap for the river. There's multiple bridges along the river, but there's one major bridge that you guys are going to cross. You will effectively be drawing a straight line from Henst to Zalam. The Skivarti nest is just after the river. So you guys have probably about 5 to 6 days before you reach the river. Then you cross the river, and that is where the real danger lies. You are obviously, this whole territory surrounding Henst is kind of like the hunting grounds for the Silver Skivarti nest. As you've been made aware, they don't really travel down south that much. So it's really just like, draw a line where this river is. Everything north of the river is where the Silver Skivarti cause a lot of problems, but everything south of the river is the Silver Skivarti and presumably their trainers are watching you. It's less of they're trying to hunt you and more of they're trying to guard their territory. So you can gauge that if they catch wind of the idea that you guys are hunting for them, you guys are looking for the nest, that you're in danger of getting not just like an ambush to take things, you're in danger of getting an ambush to kill you.
Okay.
So, with that in mind, the caravan is going to travel in a straight line from Henst to Zalam. You guys are going to travel for 8 hours a day, after which you're going to take a full, like, effectively, you're going to travel for 8 hours, rest for a total of 16. 8 of which are going to be to set up camp and cook, and, you know, during the actual 8 hours worth of travel, you might need to stop for about 2 hours in order to, like, rest for a little bit. It's interspersed throughout the 8 hours of travel. You have around about 8 hours of resting time and recuperating, and then 8 hours of sleep. So every day, that's how that's going to be, unless you guys decide to stop the caravan and do something. And you, as road wardens, will have the authority to do that. There is a caravan master who technically gets final say on anything that you guys do, but you as road wardens are effectively like the second in command of whatever the caravan is doing. So you'll have the authority to be like, let's go ahead and stop the caravan. We feel like there's danger up ahead. We don't want you guys to get caught up in it, so on and so forth.
Okay.
And the journey from Henst to Zalam will take 2 weeks, 14 days. And that is assuming no stops, no ambushes, no recuperating, no nothing. An ambush could potentially add a day or two to the travel, depending on whether or not any of your pack animals die. That could cause some serious problems for the caravan. So there's 2 different ways, realistically, that you guys could go about this. There's probably more, and you guys could, deliberate on that if you want. One is to take the caravan, including the 5 other road wardens and caravan master, and presumably any civilians that are deciding to leave Henst, and travel with them, and then go to kill the Skivarti nest during the caravan travel. That puts the caravan at risk. But it also means the caravan will be protected by you while it is traveling. I mean, you've got 9 road wardens total that are going to be protecting the caravan. The likelihood of something going terribly, terribly wrong, like people being killed, is actually quite low. But the likelihood of some complication occurring, it is there. The other method that you could perform is you guys can travel on your own ahead of the caravan. Either you tell the caravan to leave in X number of days, or you just say, wait until we're back. Those are 2 different things that you can do, because they're going to cross the bridge. So in any instance, you can wait for them at the bridge and you will meet up with them. So you could say, we're going to head out maybe 2 days ahead of time, and we're going to meet up with you guys after we've taken care of the Skivarti nest. Or you can go all the way ahead and take care of it and then come all the way back, which that would add a lot of time. So how do you guys want to go about it?
Might be best to go up ahead.
I agree.
Yeah, I
Serve
would
as
say
the vanguard.
Or, you know what would be even better is if we go past and then have them stop and backtrack slightly. That way, if something goes wrong, they can still finish where they need get where they need to go.
But if they go past, then there's a chance of complications of being ambushed by them.
Mm-hmm.
And just to clear up that entire complication possibility,
That
I
is
feel
true.
like we should just go and try and take care of it so they can have a clear path to Zalam.
And I'll also note, no matter what you guys do, the caravan will have 5 road wardens protecting it. They are beginner road wardens, much like you guys are. So you can estimate they are between levels 1 and 2. So they're not going to be like the world's greatest protection. If a particularly dangerous monster were to show up, you can assume the caravan is toast. But it would be toast even if you guys were there if a particularly dangerous monster showed up, because you guys are also level 2.
So regardless, the danger is there.
Mm-hmm. But the only danger you guys are aware of and can be, somewhat privy to is the Skivarti nest. Now, I will note, it will take you some time to find it. Locating it is your first challenge.
So I don't know about you guys, but I'm not too privy about possible ambushes along the road. I'd rather take care of it before we set out.
That sounds the safest to me.
Cool.
Yeah, works for me.
Do you want to set the caravan to leave on a delay? And if you do, how much of a delay?
I would say you said we would have to find the Skivarti nest first. So
Yes.
it's probably going to take some time to track and then probably take some more time to clear it. So I would probably say anywhere from 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. You guys want to set it on a 3-day timer, and if you just have extra time, just like camp out by the bridge?
That sounds good. Yes.
Sure. Cool. So we'll go ahead and say that is the plan you guys are going to set into motion. When you awaken the following day after having gotten your rest, You emerge from the tavern, go downstairs, get some food on the house, because that is how road warden facilities work. And one of you will have to inform the guard captain of this, as he is not going to be going with the caravan, but he is going to be setting the caravan out. Like he's sending guards with the caravan, he's sending people with the caravan, he's the person who's kind of in charge of making sure they're good to go. So you'll have to let him know.
Okay. So
you guys spot him, whoever chooses to go up to him. He's looks like he's adjusting the buckles on his armor for the morning, and spots whoever it is that decides to approach.
So Caius is gonna go ahead and approach and like wave him down and get his attention.
He walks up to you, looks like he's distracted, looking down to his like left hip as he like fiddles with a buckle, manages to get it, and sort of like looks to you and is like, "Hail, Caius. Are you ready to depart with the caravan, or is there a plan that you have?"
Actually, it would probably be safer if we go ahead and take care of that Skivarti nest first. So, if anything, we would probably like to go ahead and delay the departure of the caravan while we go and see about taking care of that.
Okay, I think that's a very prudent decision. Is there an amount of time you want us to delay, or would you rather wait? Would you rather us wait for you to return?
Just to save on time, we probably won't return. So I would say go ahead and give a 3-day delay so we can have time to track it down, to get that cleared out for you guys.
He takes out his little pocketbook, writes it down, closes it, puts it away, and he's like, "Understood. I'll make sure to inform the caravan master. We'll make sure that you are given your 3-day delay that you requested. Are you setting out today?"
Yes, we are. We will be setting out today to go ahead and get started on that.
Understood. I wish you well. And he holds out a hand to shake you. Shake you to shake your hand. He just violently shakes you. No, he holds out a hand to shake yours.
Run!
Caius grins and grips his hand and shakes it and like, "We'll be fine, trust me."
You're met with an equally firm grip, and he nods and he says, "I know, you've proven yourself to be capable. I mostly wish you well because I hope that you will return one day. Your help here has been invaluable."
Of course, but well, I mean, there's no doubt we wouldn't probably pass by here again. Besides, I have a part of my home here. These trolls here were part of my tribe back from where I came from, so I would like to make sure they're doing all right.
He smiles, sort of looks to, you see Tar, who is now a member of the guard, actually does have what looks like, it's very rudimentary. It looks like they probably put it in order that is going to be traveling with the caravan to Zalam to get like proper armor for Tar. But you do see that Tar has been given what is really just stitched together leathers with some, like welded together plates and so on and so forth. But he does have really just like a big log with a sharpened end as a spear, and he looks proud. He looks happy. He looks like he feels like he's got a purpose here. He's not just protecting just the trolls of his tribe. He is now also protecting others, and he seems to have some sense of pride and purpose behind that, where it's like it's bigger than him now. Mm-hmm. And he looks to you, and Tar gives you a nod. As he then struggles hilariously to try to get up on the wall and breaks one of the ladders because he's too big to do that. And the guards kind of like hold out hands and basically just say like, "It's probably better if you just patrol the perimeter," and Tar solemnly kind of like, "Okay," and goes out.
Caius calls out, "The tribe was wrong to send you guys off this way. Look at you now."
He points and he goes like, "That's what I was trying to tell them." And so you inform the guard captain, Captain Thorn, or Captain Thane, of what's going on, and you guys can gather and prepare to set out if you wish.
Yeah, I want to ask him one more thing about like just if he has any leads of like any like if he's seen any Skivarti tracks going to or from in the area.
He gives you the information that he has, which is realistically the same information that you got from the bounty notice. Gotcha. The estimated area, the rudimentary sort of like circle of the area is, if you're looking at the river, following it from the northern end, do you see where it starts to go up slightly? the first time that it starts to go up. That area where you see what is effectively like those two little appendages in that sort of area there to the immediate right of the mountains, that is where the nest is. It is in that area. So as long as you're searching in that area, you are going to find the nest.
Gotcha. All right. So we have some kind of heading.
Yeah, your plan is basically you're going to travel down southwest until you cross the river, after which point you're going to have to head north, or you can try to cross the river in the north, and then once you've gotten, the Skivarti nest taken care of, you can travel down south to find the bridge.
Gotcha. All right.
Because you're not traveling with wagons, so you technically could use some of the smaller bridges that are, to the north or south.
Okay. I'll go ahead and see about relaying. I mean, is that knowledge we all know, or is that?
Yeah, that's knowledge. That's knowledge that even if the party didn't know it, you can come back and relay that to them. We'll just assume you return to the party who is plotting out the course of where you guys are going to travel. They have the map open, and they also have the bounty adjacent to them, which is the thing that gives them that information. So you you see that they've got it too.
Gotcha. All right. So
cool. You guys eat your breakfast. Is there anything that anyone wants to discuss before you head out?
I would like to get one shot from Eckel for the road.
One shot, yeah. Okay. You know what? Roll a d20 for me. Add your persuasion bonus.
There it goes.
Somewhere.
It didn't get it. I threw it too far.
Hold on.
All right.
It might. No, it's not gonna.
It's gone. All right. I'll try again.
It vanished.
Right.
Okay. Whatever your bonus is.
I don't think I have a bonus for persuasion. That's charisma, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Okay. Yeah, he passes you a shot, and then you actually see that. Didn't he give you a flask with some in it as well?
He did. That's been
empty. He holds out the hand for the flask.
Oh, I hold it. Of course I give it to him.
Fills it back up with the barrel tap, and then seals it, hands it back to you, and he goes like, "Don't drink that too quickly. You're probably not going to come back here anytime soon, so enjoy it."
Whatever happens out there, I can't hold any promises, Eckel.
He sort of like smiles respectfully and takes the dishes from your guys' food that you guys were eating, clears off your table so that way no one you have more room for the map and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Anything else?
All right.
Anyone wants to do? Anyone wants to tackle? Or are you guys ready to head out on the road?
Kai's is set.
Beautiful. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and do travel time stuff now. The way that I have this worded is I'm not rolling on the random encounter table every single day. I have it worded that I'm going to roll once, and then I'm going to determine the time during which an ambush may occur if it does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll that d20 now, as this could potentially change the nature of the session. Okay, go ahead and do that. Beautiful. Consult my kill my party document. I can't fucking believe you named it Macromore. God damn it.
Let's get into it.
That's so funny. Cool. So, as was established before, it is 8 hours of travel every day, 8 hours of intermittent rest and setting up camp, 8 hours of sleep for a long rest, and then you repeat ad nauseum until you reach your destination. The first day of travel. I am going to I'm going to prompt you guys in the case that you guys ever want to stop for anything. You guys tell me if you want to be like, can we do something this evening or can we do something during the day? So you let me know, because otherwise I'm going to go through this pretty quick.
Alrighty.
So the first day, does anyone have anything they want to do on the first day? You guys set out. No. It is morning time. You have wrapped up your map and the bounty, and you start on the road. We're maybe like an hour in. The town is now a distant prospect. It will take you a bit to get back there if you did decide, like, oh shit, I left my keys.
Gotcha. So there is one thing that Kais wants to ask about, and he, as we're like going on our way, he looks to Lumia and asks, Lumia, do you have any of those drugs still?
I narrow my eyes at Caius and I ask, what did you just say to me?
You guys hear the crunching of the snow beneath your boots.
I was asking if you still had any of those drugs still, or that, what was his name? The Boheim gentleman that we got turned into the guard.
I may. Why?
While I was under the influence, there's something I wanted to try. There's just something I need to confirm, if that's okay.
Lumia is looking at him like he is absolutely insane because it sounds like he's just saying he wants to experiment with drugs while we're out in the wilderness on our way.
Guys, I almost unlocked something when I was high. I almost unlocked my third eye.
I need to go back to fucking Xanadu. Like, so I'm gonna need you to give me a little more detail than that if you're asking me to actually give you drugs.
Gotcha. So he takes a moment to place a hand on his chin, and it was like, well, if my memory serves correctly, which I'm not sure what was correct back then, as I was experiencing everything with Moggs and what I saw with Harvey, you were the only one who seemed normal, and I'm trying to see if that's a regular occurrence for whatever reason.
So when you were tripping balls on drugs, you saw visions of me and I seemed normal.
Correct. You were the only one out of everything in the surrounding that was unfazed.
And how are you sure that you weren't just looking at me in person?
Because when I looked at everything else, it was either an army of Moggs, or I don't even remember what Harvey looked like. But you were the only one that I can see and I believe hear clearly.
So walk me through this. Let's say I give you some drugs. You take them while we are, mind you, in the middle of the wilderness. And then what? So what do you hope to accomplish?
To get a better understanding of why.
Lumia at this point is just absolutely incredulous because I'm thinking, if you're out of your mind, how on earth are you going to figure out any sort of mystery? But at this point, she's like, you know what? We're out here. Why not cause a bit of mischief? Sure, Caius, I'll be happy to give you a bottle of my drugs in exchange for 5 gold.
Oh my God, are you a drug dealer?
First one's free.
And Caius is like, fine, sure, I don't care. He pulls out 5 gold.
All right, Lumia takes the gold and tosses him one of her bottles of this mysterious liquid.
Okay. Nice. Bear, go ahead and pack off 5 gold, and then Lumia add on 5 gold.
Nice. I'm gonna go ahead. He just stashes it away in the same. How big is the satchel that I have from?
The rucksacks that you guys have are big. They are rather. Oh, are you talking about the like small little pouch? Or are you talking about your backpack?
I'm gonna say the small little pouch where I think Caius is gonna like separate what's like things that he's important to him real quick.
Sure. I mean, the small pouch has enough room for the small vial that you have. The only concern that you personally would have is that in the heat of combat, that would make it like vulnerable to being crushed.
I should probably not do that then. Got it.
You can wrap it up in a piece of extra clothing and put it in your bag to ensure it doesn't get crushed.
I'll do that then.
Cool. So you stash that away. We're only an hour into the first day, and Caius is already buying drugs off Lumia.
Look, of course, he's not going to take it on the trip, but it was more so a thought that it was been on his mind for a minute.
He's not going to take it on the trip, but he is going to trip later.
Correct.
Cool.
Finger gun.
we set out for the rest of the day. 8 hours pass in the blink of an eye as you're traveling. The sort of locale, the area that you guys are traveling past changes dramatically to much more of a flat tundra. There are tree lines spotted here and there, but there are not very many woods to speak of. You guys maybe have to travel for an extra 10-15 minutes once sundown starts to arrive in order for you guys to reach a small little like underbrush tree line so you can make camp without being completely out in the open, exposed to the wind and the chill of the night. You guys start to set up camp, finding what meager tinderwood you can, setting about, starting a fire, and setting up your tents and bedrolls and stuff of that nature. The trees provide very little protection against the wind. There are just not enough of them here. So this evening is quite cold. Now, because I'm going to be forthcoming, I am rolling on the I have already rolled on the random encounter table.
Mm-hmm.
I will go ahead and ask the order by which you guys will take watch. There are 2-hour increments that you can be awake for, after which you can go back to bed with no penalty. But if you remain awake for longer than 2 hours, you will not get the benefits of a long rest and also incur a point of exhaustion. So keeping that in mind, there are enough of you that one person can be awake for 2 hours every 2 hours. So who's going to take the first watch?
I don't mind.
Okay. And then who's going to take the second watch?
Me.
And who's going to take the third watch?
I'll take third.
And Moggs, are you comfortable taking the fourth watch?
Sure.
Okay. I will ask for all of you to make perception checks during the evening. All of you have dark vision, as far as I understand, so there's no need for you to roll with disadvantage.
Oops.
We're still struggling with the case of the disappearing dice.
Got a 15.
Solid. Yeah, make sure to mark down the total that you guys get, and I'll go around and ask. So I believe Harvey was first. What is your total?
16.
16?
What did I get?
I thought you rolled the 15.
You rolled an 8 there.
That 8 was earlier.
Oh, well then re-roll. It didn't
Oh,
show.
right, no, it's right there. It's a 15. I see it.
Lumia rolled a 15.
I did.
Okay, well, I'll roll it again. I'm gonna be highly upset if it's ass now.
What do you mean now?
Doesn't the log show it?
See, I rolled again.
There's a log, bro.
It says
Yeah,
you rolled 8.
That was earlier. I just rolled again.
It
I
didn't do anything.
I see the die saying that it's an 11.
See, exactly.
And I
but
saw the
nothing's popping
die
up.
previously saying it's a 15.
15. My rolls are just not popping up.
So we'll say it's a 15.
Doesn't make no sense, Bear.
The DM rules. You shut up.
Bear.
Keep that
Let's
same energy
roll.
later when you get
Let's
knocked
keep
out.
rolling again.
Once you get his bells out of your mouth.
Holy shit. Cool. So Harvey, what is your total?
16.
16. Beautiful. And then I believe Lumia was second.
Yeah, 15 total.
15. And then Bear.
I had a.
Because you got
I had a 17.
You got a 15 on the die.
17.
Cool. So +2, so that's 17. So Kai's got a 17. And then Moggs.
19.
19. Beautiful. Every one of you are very confident during the duration of your watch that there may be wild creatures in this area. You're pretty confident that they're purposefully steering clear. You guys are a rogue element as far as they're concerned.
Ooh.
Nice.
So there's a lot of these creatures that are kind of wary and watching. You haven't presumably caught wind of any Skivarti that are lurking, so you're keeping a keen eye for any tracks that might be fresh in the morning or anything of that nature. Now, I'm also going to go ahead and put this out there. There is the very brief opportunity for roleplay when you guys pass off the guard. So if If Harvey has anything that they want to say to Lumia, or Lumia has anything they want to say to Caius, or Caius has anything they want to say to Moggs, then absolutely feel free to do so. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and continue on. So is everybody ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. You wake up the following day, you break camp, you have a meager breakfast with the rations that you guys have, and you set out for your next day's travel. It similarly goes by very quickly, and you're starting to recognize why the winter environments here are so rough. The cold is not hospitable. I need everybody here, and yes, this does include Caius. Unfortunately, I don't believe you have resistance to cold climates. I need everybody. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was about to say, I don't. I mean, the most I can do is just keep a produce flame going.
Cool. I'm going to need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw to see if you suffer any ill effects as a consequence of the cold.
Boy. Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, now it popped up.
Okay.
Totally. I total got an 11.
Should have bought mittens.
All right. Did anybody get a 9 or lower?
I did, but
Oh.
I feel like I need to understand. Like, wait, do I get a bonus to this?
Check your saving throw box.
It is a saving throw. So whatever your bonus to
Oh.
Constitution is, and then if you are proficient in Constitution saving throws, which I don't think
I'm
a cleric
not.
is. So it'll
No.
just be whatever your bonus to Constitution is, adding that to your roll.
So it still just makes it a 9.
So Lumia got a 9. Did anybody else get a 9 or lower?
Get a 10.
A 10? Okay, that meets. That is the DC, is 10. Bear, I'm assuming Caius is fine.
Yeah, I got an 11.
Cool. And what did Moggs get?
16.
16? Awesome. Cool. So, a creature exposed to the cold must succeed on a DC 10 Constitution saving throw or suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Great.
Lumia. Unfortunately, as a consequence of trying to endure the extreme cold for the second day in a row, you have suffered a level of exhaustion. That will give you disadvantage on all of your skill checks for the day.
Oh, thank God
Until you take a long rest, you will have that level of exhaustion. And I'm also going to put this out there. It is possible, if the weather gets really bad, that you might have to make this saving throw multiple times in a day. And you only remove 1 level of exhaustion every long rest. So if you fail this save 2 times in a day and then take a long rest, you still have a level of exhaustion the next day. So this is basically, you're dealing with a war of attrition. The longer you are out in the cold without having proper shelter, the worse it will be. So at the beginning of the second day, we've done the saving throw. I'm going to ask for everyone else to make a survival check to try to avoid the consequences of exhaustion for the next night. And you're allowed to use guidance here. You're also allowed to... Oh, goddamn, Caius. Goddamn, Moggs.
God damn, Harvey.
Cool.
God damn, Drinks.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, take another one, dude.
Everybody, realistically, I would say, like, I don't know, Harvey, you're just not having a good day.
All right.
You were born and raised here, man. So you should know, like, what's going on. But the moment that, like,
cold,
you
dude.
step out of the tree line and the wind chill hits you, you're like, fuck this. This sucks. You don't miss this. And so it is as a consequence primarily of Caius, but also aided by Moggs and Lumia, that the party comes across a very dense tree line for the following evening. And you guys do bed down in this dense tree line, which stops the cold air from coming through. It actually does prevent you from having to make that Constitution saving throw the following morning. So congratulations. I'm going to ask, are we taking the same watch order as the previous night?
Why not?
Yeah.
So we'll go Harvey, Lumia, Caius, Moggs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Everybody make a perception check.
I can use guidance on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Damn. Damn. Damn.
Mog's
Jesus.
The more we roll, the more likely you guys are to roll very poorly and very well. So, Harvey, what is your total?
4.
4. Fine. As far as
It's
you're
fucking
concerned,
cold and snowy, bro.
as far as you're concerned, it's cold. Lumia.
Well, I rolled an 11, but I'm rolling at disadvantage, so don't I have to roll another one and take the lower of the two?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm not often at a disadvantage, so I simply don't know what to do. Okay, then it would have been what I already rolled, which was 9 plus 2, so 11.
That is very... Honestly, 11 is like an average roll. Like 10.5 technically is the average roll of a d20, but it's not possible to roll 0.5, so rounding up 11, perfectly normal roll. It doesn't look to you like there's any threat on the horizon as you sort of wake Caius for him to take his watch. Caius, what's your total?
I got a 9.
You got a 9? Beautiful. As far as you're concerned, no threats are out here. You are a little bit more prepared for combat to happen in most instances because where everyone else would... I know that we've said mechanically you have medium armor, but in flavor you're not wearing armor.
Yes.
I am actually going to go ahead and give you the benefit of saying that you effectively always have your armor on, whereas every other creature needs to take their armor off to rest. If you have your armor on over a long rest, you become exhausted at the end of the rest. So Moggs has to take off their armor. Lumia especially, because you've got like heavier plate mail, you have to take it off before you rest. So you are sort of like, you take the duty of watch very seriously because you understand that if an ambush were to happen in the dead of night, you would be the most prepared to handle it. So you kind of like arms crossed, looking out on the horizon. Don't really spot anything. You said you rolled a 9?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like there's anything on the horizon. And you're kind of like pacing for a couple of moments, sit down on one of the logs here. You're very grateful to have the break for the wind.
Whittling away at some wood, making another.
Yeah. Go ahead and make another carpentry check. We'll just like say that this will be progress, whatever you roll. Oh, very solid. With your +1 as well.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's
an 18.
18. Very, very good. You make great headway. In fact, you're not like almost done. Like it takes longer than that to just finish a carving like this. But you have the rudimentary figure of Tar finished. You even have what type of action pose have you decided to give Tar? Do you want him to be like hoisting his club?
He's triumphantly standing with his new club and his new garb for joining the guard.
Cool. Yeah, so you have him basically like hand up to the sky holding his spear. It looks pretty good already. But you sort of like set it down as you go and wake Moggs. And Moggs, you rolled a natural 20, right?
Yep.
You get X-ray vision.
Jesus.
You get temporary X-ray vision and you can see everything. You have to consider for a moment if you're tripping out like Caius was before, but you're pretty confident you're not. There's nothing here. You are safe. You as a consequence of you guys finding this sort of like underbrush to hide in, it's very comfy. You wake up the following day. Nobody suffers any levels of exhaustion. Lumia, you remove the exhaustion that you have.
Woohoo!
You travel for another 8 hours today. We're going to shorthand this from now on because you guys get the idea. I don't want to have to go through this every single time. So what we're going to do is I'm going to let you guys pick whoever has the highest bonus to survival. They're going to roll with advantage and guidance to figure out if you guys find a place to rest for the night. If that survival check fails the following day, you'll need to all make Constitution saving throws. But otherwise, this technically gives you like the highest chance that you could have with the lowest number of rolls. And then we are going to shorthand the watch by saying whoever of you has the highest perception check will roll one check with advantage and guidance.
Okay. So
we'll just shorthand the whole day. Who has the highest survival bonus? I think it's Moggs.
Yeah, all I got is a +2.
So 2 and 6.
0.
Assuming 0. Cool. And who has the highest perception?
I have 6.
Also Moggs.
All right, Fen. Go ahead and make that survival check for me first. So 2d20 plus a d4.
Oh, lordy, lordy.
Very solid. Then go ahead and make another, effectively, like, just add 6 to d20 plus d4. And this is perception for the evening.
Oh, no advantage to this one?
Oh, no advantage.
Yeah.
Solid, yeah, 20 total. So that's day 3, I believe, and night 3. So go ahead and we're gonna do this another 2 times, and then you guys are gonna make it there and be ready to go. And this is really just like a statistical gamut of a ton of dice being rolled to determine whether or not you guys show up with exhaustion.
All right, so here's survival. Yep.
God.
And perception.
Day 4, flying colors,
Good.
and this is day 5, which I believe is the last day. Fuck it, we'll make it the last day. I don't care. Cool. 21.
Yeah.
And this is the last
then-
evening. Easy, 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 easy. You guys are a well-oiled machine at this point. You guys have started to get to know each other relatively well. You've been on several quests. You defended a town together. You named a species of fish. And, you know, now that you guys are getting to camp with one another and really start to learn more about each other, you're starting to understand what potential hobbies and stuff are for each of you. To that end, I am going to go ahead and ask Harvey what he does for leisure when he has nothing to do.
I usually have that little journal that I'm doodling in.
Okay, so basically you draw, you make some little doodles of art and stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything specific that Moggs does during downtime?
She's been has been fiddling with her wrench weapon.
You're getting close to a breakthrough, Moggs.
And in particular, probably may have noticed, particularly Caius, that she had been taking an interest in, like, what it felt like when she was swinging the lumber axe, and that it was not as difficult to use as her makeshift weapon that she has put together.
So you're kind of gauging the weight and the balance and seeing what you can change and so on and so forth. Yeah, very, very solid use of time. And I assume every once in a while you cast Detect Magic to continue on the road. Caius, I assume you continue whittling away during your downtime to ensure that you can actually finish this this wood carving in, you know, before you meet up with the caravan again.
Yes.
And then we come to Lumia. What do you do during this downtime?
You all know what I'm doing. I'm reading my spicy romance novels.
I am going to ask for Lumia to make your choice of a stealth or a sleight of hand check to completely mask the evidence of the books from your party members.
Oh my god.
So we're going to establish this now. It is the passive perception of the party members that are present. I need to get this out there now. First and foremost, what is Harvey's normal bonus?
No!
To perception? What is Harvey's normal bonus?
My normal bonus is +2.
+2. Okay. The observant bonus gives you a +5 bonus to your passive. So your passive should be 17.
Yes.
That motherfucker shouldn't even have that right now. That's not fair.
Aw.
Moggs just has a natural 16.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
And Caius, I believe you're the odd one out here.
Yeah, I'm just a 10, Brian. I don't care.
10. Okay, cool.
I really don't.
So the other thing that we're going to establish now is the times during which you need to make these checks. You do not have your armor on, so you will not suffer disadvantage to stealth.
Okay.
I am giving you advantage because you've done this for a while now, whether it's with this party or with the cloister of nuns that you were with before.
Oh my god.
And I am giving, so this is very much so homebrew bullshit. What is your bonus to sleight of hand and what is your bonus to stealth?
0.
Okay, pick one of them. You are getting a conditional +5 bonus to it as long as you are trying to hide the fact that you're reading erotica.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
I want you to like write this down somewhere because this is a feature that you have. You have advantage and +5 to any check you make to hide the fact that you are reading erotica, and only that fact. That the
curve feature.
You can like you can use this feature only to hide the erotica. So if you are like trying to sneak into a building, you can't hold a piece of erotica with you to be like, I'm hiding it. It just like you can sneak into that building and also read erotica, get caught, but no one will know you're reading erotica. And then when you are ready, it is 2d20, and with your bonus that you've decided to give, I'm going to say this is sleight of hand. Probably, I think that's super fair because if you have the armor on, it gives you disadvantage on stealth.
Wait, but I can also use guidance.
Hell yeah, you can.
I really don't want to be caught. So it's okay. I got it.
2d20 plus a d4, and then you're adding 5 to whatever the total of this is. Okay, I saw the 2 first. So that's 14 plus 2 plus 5. That is 21.
21.
You are an expert at this point. You are exceptionally skilled at disguising the presence of these books. And during camp time, you hold up whatever you need to hide the book. You cast the smallest, most minuscule light spell, and then hide in your bedroll to like read the books.
You're like under the covers.
Yeah, basically. And you know, when you're taking watch, maybe you're just like a little bit distracted during your watch, and you take very close note of the time to ensure it's like you're not, you know, gonna get caught by Caius, who wakes up after you to take watch. And yeah, nobody is the wiser.
Thank goodness.
Oh my god, that would have been a
So you know how like Harvey has the observant feature and Caius gets 2 racial features? Yeah, this is your special bonus, Lumia.
Honestly, I love it.
I trigger hide smut.
You get to name the feature whatever you want, by the way, because that is something Lumia has.
Oh, this is going to be fun. I'll have to come up with a good name.
I think at some point, probably like the third night, the first one where we started doing the abridged, so I kind of had I got thought jammed a little bit there. I was going to have Moggs, having heard the conversation between Caius and Lumia at the beginning of the trip, and that brewing in the back of her mind had gotten her curiosity the better of her, and at the beginning of after they like set down camp, so not during like watch shift, but after settling on where they're going to end for the night, before like having dinner or something like that, she was going to have a drink of one of her bottles of drugs.
Do you choose to fail the Constitution saving throw?
I could just choose to do that?
You can choose to fail it.
Yes.
But you will roll to see if you fail it by... So, like, here, this is like a really weird, janky homebrew way to do this. You will roll to see if you fail or succeed. Then you can, if you succeed, choose to fail. But if you fail by a certain number, there are negative penalties.
Gotcha.
So, whatever the result of this, you're going to go ahead and choose to fail. Go ahead and roll that d20 for me. This is your second time. Holy fuck. Holy
wow.
That's nuts.
Whoa.
Why couldn't that have been on the second roll?
You just let her. I'm going to give you advantage on the second one because of that.
Okay, I'll take that.
That's crazy. So, you got to let it set in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take it on the third night?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want anyone else to know you're taking it, or do you try and hide the fact?
I will do it discreetly.
Okay. There's a point in time where Mog says that, she's got to go to the restroom, so she goes off to a certain area and then comes back. I would say the amount of time that it took for you to walk back is probably enough for you to get the first warning signs that it's taking effect. You had some before, and it never did anything, but it did something to Caius, and you remember what it did to Caius, so you are preparing for it. I'm going to say only Lumia probably recognizes because Lumia has spent the most time with you. Mog's eyes are very dilated.
And in particular, so, Mog's is just going to be chilling and having dinner and then going to bed, but she's curious, like, in particular, if Lumia looks normal or not.
Yeah, so you guys have what I'll assume are some of the field rations that you may have, some of the like food that you may have taken from Henst and like brought with you. So you guys have like proper, what is functionally like dried stew and stocks and stuff of that nature that are in, it's like, it's not pemmican. What is it called? It's basically like dehydrated soup stock and stew and stuff like that. So you have a pot of water that you basically just get by scooping up some snow in your pot and boiling it. And then you drop in these dehydrated bits of stew and soup, and it starts to thicken the water and coagulate it and create what is functionally stew. You've got portable stew without needing refrigeration. It only lasts for a little bit, so you're taking it for this first leg of the journey. And as you guys sort of ladle it into your bowls and stuff of that nature, you guys, are we going to say that everybody is individually scooping their own bowls, or is one person preparing the meal?
Oh God.
Let's say we're scooping our own bowls.
Yeah.
Cool. So Harvey, you get the ladle, you scoop your own bowl, you get whatever portion that you want. Caius, you head up, you get like a double portion because you're pretty hungry.
It's not much. I eat like a bird.
Yeah. Lumia, you get a perfectly reasonable portion. Moggs, you're pretty sure your friends have just poured actual lava into bowls and are preparing to consume it.
Knowing what I know, Moggs is very interesting. Like,
it is so
horrified, but also interested to know what lava tastes like.
It is frighteningly convincing.
Yeah.
You're the only reason that Moggs is probably not freaking out right now is because of the fact that you are aware of what the drug does. So you see them pouring lava into bowls, and there's a part of you that does not want to see how far that hallucination goes. So you kind of don't look at your friends for a little bit because you do not want to see what the hallucination interprets as eating lava is. And you look into the pot, and yeah, there's a pot of lava.
God.
Try to grab the ladle and put some into
That
the
ladle
bowl.
has melted off into the lava. You guys see Moggs lift up the ladle and stare at it like it's a fucking alien.
Caius is like squinting at Moggs, like,
What was that
everything?
noise?
Is
Like,
everything-
like the one tongue out doing like the concentration is like trying to move the ladle that she can't see and what
Yeah,
she
gauge
thinks
where
would
it
put
actually
into
is.
the bowl.
The most cautious you have ever seen Moggs be. They gingerly pour a ladle of soup halfway into the bowl, halfway back into the pot, get some on the bowl itself, and step back with their spoon. And as far as you're concerned at this point, Moggs, you've actually like kind of broken part of the illusion. You have lava in your bowl.
What does it smell like?
It's not so much the smell, it's just insanely hot. Like, you are holding the bowl, the bowl catches fire in your hand. Like, you pour the lava in, you sit down, and as you sit down and look at the bowl, it just spontaneously just ignites.
But I don't feel
You do not
burning.
feel burning. That's the thing. The pain part of the receptors in your brain are not firing. It's just like this should hurt. This is really, really, really hot. And to be fair, actually, the soup is boiling in the pot, so it is actually quite like you see your companions. For a brief moment, you look up, you see Caius with a spoon blowing on the stew, which is just lava in a spoon.
Moggs is just sitting there, like the bowl in one hand, sitting and just staring at it and just kind of.
Are you okay, Moggs?
You look up to see Lumia is perfectly fine. She takes a bite of what is in
as
her
fine
bowl.
as you are.
Huh.
What about the other two?
You see that where Caius should be is a person that is completely on fire as Caius is eating a lot of the lava. They're smoldering and crackling. To the point where the fire is actually blotting out most of their features. You're not 100% certain if that's Caius. But like, Caius, you look at Moggs looking at you with just this wide-eyed expression like, oh my god. And then you look over to Harvey, and as far as you can see, Harvey is a full-blown monster. Like, a monster that would be hunting you right now.
Ooh. Hey, Caius, how's it going?
Yeah, it's and like they speak to you, and it is just a guttural growl.
Ooh.
The like there are logical like connections that Moggs is manually making in their brain, because it does the way the drug works is like it subconsciously just kind of like fills in information that's not there, and you have to like grab that information and connect it to a lot. Like there's a logical fallacy here. Why is that monster not attacking? Why is the person on fire not screaming? What's going on? You know, like why is my hand not? Why am I not on fire? I'm holding a bowl of lava, and so there's these connections that you're making, and as a consequence of that, you make it. Not like all the way through, but you are making it through with no problem.
I also, like, before I eat, just because she's just so fascinated and curious about how this all is coming together, she's going to cast Identify on the lava.
While you're oh no.
We're all witnessing this, right?
Yes, you guys watch Moggs start to ritual cast Identify on the pot of soup.
Which is, again, like, she's just, like, fucking, like, poking at it and, like, swirling it. And, like, so it doesn't look like magical bullshit. She's just being weird with her stew.
You understand this to be the method by which Moggs manages to cast Identify, although it is absolutely not how it should work.
Yeah, so I guess so we would know that she's casting Identify on it because we've seen her do it before.
I would say that Lumia absolutely knows.
Yeah.
And that you and Harvey maybe have like a cursory understanding of the last time they did this, they figured out what something did. So this is probably magic.
I think she thinks the soup is magical, but I'm not sure if that's weird or standard Moggs behavior.
I can say that I don't believe she cast the stew on cast the magic on the stew that the trolls made, so I'm confused on why this one's any different.
I'm gonna shortcut your ritual casting. I know it's supposed to take an extra 10 minutes, but I'm just gonna say you finish it here. You're also, like, even if it was that you are spending the spell slot to do it, you're taking a long rest here anyways. So you finish casting Identify on the
Identify
stew.
is only 1 minute for ritual.
Oh, is it? It's only 1 minute for a ritual? Really?
Yep.
Where does it say that?
Identify 1 minute ritual.
So the ritual in like the parenthesis just designates that it can be cast as a ritual, and ritual always adds 10 minutes to whatever its normal casting time is. So its normal casting time is a minute. So it'd be 11 minutes for ritual or 1 minute for normal cast.
Got it. Okay, yes.
Yeah, you cast Identify in whatever way you so choose, and how would you say Moggs receives the information on a sensory level about Identify? Would you say that you are spoken to by a voice about the like subject of your identify spell, or would you say that it simply is given to you sort of like spontaneously, or what method by which do you think Moggs receives the information? Do you get like a blueprint of it?
Let me ask you if there is something that you think that would wind up being.
I feel like it would probably be a combination of like some amount of spontaneity where it just kind of appears in your mind, and also giving you some kind of mechanical depth of the bits and bobs. If it is a machine, or if it is a magic item that was crafted in some way, that it sort of like separates its components and displays them to you rudimentarily, not to the point where you understand every part of its function, but basically like if you cast this on a gun, it would field strip the gun in your brain. Like that's what Identify would do. So you cast Identify on this, and you are... Okay, I want to describe first what everyone else sees, and then I'm going to describe what Moggs sees. You guys watch Moggs go fully stiff and like almost catatonic after they finish casting, to the point where like you're pretty sure if you like push them a little bit, they would rock back and forth on their feet. That is how stiff they go. Their eyes are fully wide, and you could almost see flickers of like an orange or yellow or red light behind their eyes as they're stiff in this way. And they blink a couple of times, so you know that they're alive and they're fine. But whatever is happening to them right now, they are probably like one little push away from freaking out. And they're like that for like a full minute.
Oh.
After which point, Moggs, you come back to yourself, and now I'm going to describe what Moggs sees. Moggs, you are ripped up into the sky and taken away from your party, arms flailing as you fly hundreds of thousands of miles away to a planet made of lava, as you are jettisoned at like light speed directly into the planet's core, and you bear witness to the birth of all magma. And then you come back.
Oh, I know Kung Fu.
I'm gonna say that like mechanically that actually does give you some element of understanding of how you can utilize real magma in crafting, which may or may not come up later. I have no clue, but we're gonna just give that to you because I think that's funny.
So the Identify actually identified magma.
As far as your senses told you, yes.
Oh, that's weird.
That's why I asked if it was like a verbal thing, it would have similarly, because the only sense that I believe is not messed up is your sense of touch. And that's why like you don't feel a sense of pain, as the thing that is supposed to be boiling lava hot is in your hands, and that's also part of why you were just dunked into a ball of fire and you were perfectly fine. But like your sense of sight and your sense of hearing are definitely fucked up. And so if you were to hear the words given to you, it would basically be like, "This is lava," and that is it. That is all that it would say. This is a pot of lava. And then the sensory visual information similarly is kind of fucked up. It's at this point, if you want, you can make that advantage check. I forget the DC that was set for it before. I believe it was 17 or 18. It was a high check. It was a very high DC. I'm going to say 17, just benefit of the doubt, as I believe 17, 18, 19, 20 is a 20% chance. Have advantage on this, and it's whatever your constitution... Actually, no, I don't think anyone... I think this is just a flat check to determine
So
this.
it's still 17, or is it going to like 16 because it's my second time? Or no, the first time I didn't get affected by it. That's right.
Yeah, so we'll say this is 17.
Okay.
Gotta be shit.
That's insane.
Holy shit.
What's
Okay.
happening?
I want you to know.
What mod is that?
I don't know, but I want you to know Moggs has gotten 3 nat 20s in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I know that one was with advantage, so there's an 8 in there somewhere.
The first one was a 20.
Moggs. Your eyes are closed as you understand the influx of false sensory information you are receiving is starting to become a little overwhelming. So you close your eyes. And you focus on not your sense of hearing, not even your sense of smell, or maybe even sense of taste. You focus on your sense of touch. And understanding that that is all that you can trust, you pour every ounce of your energy into that. Mm-hmm. And you start to eat. And you take a bite. Tastes pretty good. And you sit there and you hear your companions screaming as they get ripped apart by the monster that you saw, and you open your eyes and you see none of that. You do still see the monster there, and you do still see the person on fire, but you do not see your companions screaming as they're being ripped apart by a monster, and you're like, okay, good. Close your eyes again. And there's something that you notice the second time that you close your eyes, is you're still hearing the horrific sounds of...
Before she closes her eyes, like, you all just hear go, oh good, you're also good here.
What?
Lumia, you're adjacent to Moggs as they say this. They close their eyes again and then start eating. They're eating with their eyes closed, which is a little weird.
I just murmured to Harvey and Caius, she's definitely on drugs. Definitely. No question. This is not normal behavior. This is insane.
You hear that with no, like, change, by the way, Moggs. You do hear,
right,
like, they're on drugs.
I kind of lean in like, was I like this?
100%.
But as you close your eyes a second time and hear the noises that you were hearing, and you saw what you were seeing earlier, you trust your sense of feeling on your skin, on your scales, more than you trust any of your other senses, and you start to recognize that you do not feel a monster in adjacency with any of your companions. You can feel the way the air moves in an immediate area around you. The feature that you are getting is a conditional one.
Okay.
It requires you to have your eyes fully closed and to not be intaking any information via sight. So this includes, if you have some sort of strange way to still be able to see things even though your eyes are closed, you have to find a way to prevent that from happening. You
shut off your blind sight.
Basically, you cannot be seeing with your eyes. But while you are not seeing with your eyes, you have a 5-foot blind sight.
Oh, okay.
In a 5-foot radius immediately around you, you can sense things via your sense of touch without needing to know that they're there. This means if you were ever in combat with an invisible creature, you can close your eyes and see them.
Is this gonna be your actual nightmare scenario that we talked about earlier?
What do you mean?
As I can close my eyes and then I'm no longer looking at something through sunlight?
Yep.
Wow, that happened real fast, didn't it?
I made this for you to use. I'm making this so that way you guys could be very powerful. I want you guys to have the strength of 1,000 men.
Holy shit.
He is giving birth to gods.
Now, I will go ahead and say for the record that you need to make the determination at the beginning of a turn whether or not you are using this, and it will last until the beginning of your next turn. Mm-hmm. So if you choose to close your eyes, I know this is super gamey and meta, you cannot open them again until the start of your next turn.
Sure. Okay.
That's just to make sure that there's an actual mechanical benefit and a drawback, because that does mean that you can see 5 feet around you and nowhere else, so you are limiting yourself from what is potentially an infinite distance away, depending on how far you can see, to 5 feet.
Right.
But that does mean you can make opportunity attacks against invisible creatures because it lasts past your own turn. So yeah, congratulations. I don't have a name for this feature. I will let you decide what you want the feature to be named.
Mog's Vision.
Mog's Vision.
Oh gosh.
All right, that's the official name. If anyone else gets this feature, you have to call it that. Just like I have to call the fucking fish a mackerel mort. It's really funny.
God damn it.
Congratulations. We're gonna go ahead and say that after this ordeal, you maybe have a difficult night, but nothing that incurs exhaustion. And we will now cut to the end of the 5th day, the beginning, the morning of the 6th day, as you guys wake up, crossing the bridge to reach where it is that you will begin your investigation. And as you guys kind of reach that point, you set up a very rudimentary base camp that you guys can come back to if you need to. Maybe leaving a couple of like logs and like a stone circle with some firewood in there, but nothing more than that. You're taking the rest of your stuff with you. We'll go ahead.
While I did take the drugs discreetly, it was in the name of research, so she would have also conveyed to everyone that, yeah, for some reason, Lumia, same as like Kaya said, was not affected by the drugs. Everyone else, I had visual, audio disturbances too, but for Lumia, it was just Lumia.
As that
Lumia
mystery, as that mystery sets in, and the great challenge is set before you of locating and dealing with the silver Skivarti nest that has been plaguing Henst and the northern countryside for quite a while now, we are going to wind down and conclude the session.